entertaining, and it'll also be a very close game today. If you look at these teams statistically, almost identical on the offensive side of the football, and as you mentioned, Greg, should make for not only an entertaining game, but also, I think, a tight ball game this afternoon.
The Rowan Profs with that 9-2 record, they've been in this situation before. They've made it to the Stag Bowl 3 times this decade, and they've got some key players to keep an eye on today.
Well, Gus Ornstein is one of those players quarterbacking the Rowan Professors today. This is a guy that is a Division I quarterback in body, but he's playing in Division III. He's got all the skills, a big arm, a tall frame. He can get the ball downfield. On defense, Thaman Wright is the guy for Rowan. He led the team in tackles this year, 104 of them, and he is somebody that is going to be key to stop Eau Claire's running backs. Eau Claire with 2 rushers, posting almost 1,000 yards this year, Greg, so that's going to be a big key for Wright today.
Greg, you mentioned those 2 key running backs for Wisconsin-Eau Claire, but really on offense, it's their quarterback that makes the engine go.
Well, Sean Houlihan, I like to call him the Brett Favre of Division III football. He's so versatile. This guy can drop back and throw it, but if you flush him out of the pocket, he's perhaps even more dangerous as a runner. 16 touchdowns this year and also almost 2,500 yards of passing, not to mention what he did on the ground. On defense, Chad Ludasher is the guy for Eau Claire. Led the team in tackles, but not only that, the linebacker also led the team in sacks. So he is obviously someone that Rowan is going to have to keep an eye on and keep their offensive players away from today.
And again, the winner of this game will advance to the Stag Bowl, the national championship game next weekend in Salem, Virginia. The other semifinal today is Mount Union of Ohio hosting Trinity from Texas. And we will, of course, have scores and updates on that game throughout our broadcast today. We are just about set for kickoff. One interesting note, each of these teams lost 2 league games back-to-back early in the season. Neither team has lost outside of their respective leagues. One of those trends will come to an end here today at Rowan. We'll be back for the kickoff after this timeout.
The University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire Foundation is delighted to sponsor this broadcast of Blue Gold football. The UW-EC Foundation supports and funds scholarships for students and provides funding for cooperative student-professor research programming. Both the foundation and the Blue Gold follow the tradition of excellence supported by the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. The foundation is proud to present this Blue Gold football game and says, good luck, Blue Gold.
When it's time for pizza, it's time for the best pizza in town at Sammy's Pizza Palace in downtown Eau Claire. Whether it's dine-in, takeout, or delivery, Sammy's Pizza can cure your pizza urge. Plus, Sammy's offers free delivery, so you don't even have to leave your home to enjoy the best pizza in town. Don't forget to check out Sammy's noon buffet lunch and look for Sammy's coupons in the Leader Telegram. When you want pizza, it has to be Sammy's Pizza. It's a family tradition.
Showers throughout the afternoon. Some reports yesterday said no rain, should be sunny, but right now the weather is perfect. Both coaches aren't concerned with that. Field conditions, however, in perfect condition. It's a dry field, an extremely fast field. Should benefit both quarterbacks. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks, Mickey. This area has not seen a whole lot of rain lately, so the field is dry and it's in good shape, and we're set for a great day here. The winner of this game, again, Greg Newman, advancing to the national championship game next weekend, and both teams want to get that shot.
Well, Rowan obviously wants a shot again. They've been there 3 times in the 90s and have failed to come away with a victory in that championship game. And, of course, for Eau Claire, just wanting to get there. Bob Nielsen leading them to their first ever playoff appearance, and I think it would certainly be a coup for him to take them to a national title game in his 3rd year as head coach.
Wisconsin-Eau Claire won the toss, and they will receive. They are in the white jerseys, the Blue Golds of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, and the Rowan Profs in the brown jerseys with the gold pants. And that is Mark Migliore. He will tee it up for the Profs. Again, the lights on here at John Page Field in Glassboro, New Jersey, coming to you live via satellite this afternoon.
Jason Dunn will be returning for Eau Claire along with B.J. Jones, and Dunn is a guy with a lot of speed, number 5. Watch for him to break one if he gets an opening.
Here we go. It's high and deep and fielded by Jason Dunn. And Dunn brings it out to the 27-yard line, so pretty good field position for the Blue Golds as they started off 1st down and 10. Let's take a look at the Eau Claire offense. There's your quarterback, Sean Houlihan. We talked about him. The backs, B.J. Jones and Ryan Buss. Eric Osmo and Steve Quexley, the receivers, with Anthony Sega, the tight end. The offensive line, it's a big one, it's a good one. Berger, Schreiber, Zwicker, Whipperfirth, and Iverson with the tackles, the key guys on that offensive line for Wisconsin-Eau Claire. First down and 10 for the Blugolds. And on first down, it is Jones. And Jones gets it out to about the 30-yard line for a pickup of 3. It will be second down. The Rowan defense. It's a good group. Carpenter, Howard, Bardone, and Cornelius White, who's had a great season. The front 4. Linebackers in secondary, Gavlik, Thaman Wright, and Mark Hendricks. It's a great group of linebackers. Gibson, Collins, Troy, and Tab in the secondary, and they had a great game 2 weeks ago against the College of New Jersey, and they played well last week against Buffalo State as well.
Wayne Hansen checking into the game already for Anthony Sega at tight end.
We'll see a lot of Darryl Serrata at the tailback spot as well, as he is the other guy who's got nearly 1,000 yards. Houlihan wants to throw it, and it is incomplete. Looking for Eric Osmo, and he overshot him.
Yeah, he had Osmo in the middle of the field who broke open, and Houlihan that time just a little bit too much on it. Probably very excited coming out early.
There is Bob Nielsen, the head coach at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. In his 3rd year as the head coach, and Greg, he has really turned this program around with a 22-10 record in 3 years.
When he came to Eau Claire, many told him it was a hopeless situation and really a lost cause, and he has proven people wrong, obviously showing that if you can coach and you can recruit, you can do it anywhere.
A lot of people love to hear that it can't be done. 3rd down and 7. Shotgun. Houlihan wants to throw it. Looks, throws, complete for the first down to Steve Crutchley out at the 46-yard line.
And that's what we talked about with Houlihan. When he gets outside the pocket, he can make things happen. That time a designed rollout to go to the left, and Houlihan found Crutchley, who did a nice job breaking open on an out pattern.
We talked about the 2 quarterbacks during the pregame. As you take a look at the replay, you see Houlihan's got some mobility. He can roll out. We're not going to see that from Gus Ornstein today. He is a pure pocket passer. So different styles, but each quarterback has had some success this year. As you take a look at K.C. Keeler, the Rowan head man, in his 6th season with a great record, 57-14-1. That's Jones. Bounces off a couple tacklers and gets it to midfield. It'll be second down.
And that time running right over the left side behind Luke Berger. Luke Berger, they're big, 6'5", 325-pound left tackle. Division I size, and then also getting some looks from professional scouts is what the hot word is.
Take a look at the defensive backs coming up in pursuit. We'll see a lot of that today from the Rowan defense. They like to bring it up. Their defensive backs make a lot of stops on running play. Second down 5, shotgun. Houlihan, little swing pass to the tailback Jones. He's got some blockers, and that's a first down to the 33-yard line.
Nice play that time. Design screen for B.J. Jones, and they will not throw a lot to the running backs, but that time a nice read and got it out to B.J. Jones. Made a nice play. Only 21 catches in the regular season for B.J., so obviously maybe pulling something out of their sleeve right now is Eau Claire. Bob Nielsen going to the playbook early.
Houlihan's got a great completion percentage on the season, almost 62% of his passes completed. First down and 10. It's B.J. Jones again. He is hit at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Cornelius White there, along with Thomas Howard.
It'll be very interesting to see how they rotate in B.J. Jones and Darryl Serrata today. They usually get about the same amount of carries each game, and so far it has been B.J. this first drive.
Serrata with 959 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns, and Jones with 926 and 10. So that is a real two-headed monster to worry about defensively from the backfield. Second and 9 after the short pickup on first down. Houlihan back to throw draw play to Jones, and it picks up a good amount of yardage. It will be third and short for the Blugolds.
Yeah, he scored it through that time and might have even gotten more on that play if not for Thomas Howard, who was able to trip him up from his left tackle position for Rowan. You see it on the replay right here. Howard's just going to get a piece of his leg. Jones might have gone for a lot more.
Third down and a long 3. 11:45 to go in the first period. This is the first possession of the game. Blugolds on the move. Shovel pass to the fullback Buss, and he is close to the first down.
And it looks like he got it. They may have a measurement, but I don't think so. It looks like he was past the first down marker there.
Depends on the spot. It's going to be close enough to measure.
Ryan Buss seldom used in the running game, but again, you see right away that Bob Nielsen is dipping into his bag of tricks, as they say. A draw play, a screen pass on this drive, then a shovel pass to his fullback here. Buss just trying to barrel his way for a first down. He is not going to fool you. He is a straight-ahead bruising runner.
It's going to be short by about a foot. I would think Eau Claire would go for it here.
Yeah, Bob Nielsen is a gambler, especially early in the game. You look for a lot of fourth down conversion attempts, and you also look for a lot of two-point conversions early in games when Eau Claire gets into the end zone. They can really use a first down here to get some momentum on the road.
Well, you would think Ryan Buss, the big fullback, 215 pounds, would get the ball here right up the middle behind that big offensive line.
I would look for that or an option with Houlihan. He's dangerous on the keeper.
Well, the first big play of the game, 4th and short. Play action. Houlihan throws it, and it's complete.
And he must be
incomplete.
We'll have to take a look on the replay. It looked like he had caught it beyond the stick, but we'll see.
Well, we will step aside for a timeout. We've got 11 minutes and 9 seconds left, and the Rowan defense comes up big on 4th down. We'll come back to Glassboro after this break.
Get psyched. The 1998 NCAA Division III Football Championship is coming soon. The City of Salem and the Old Dominion Athletic Conference co-host the championship December 12th at Salem Stadium. Call 800-288-2122. That's 800-288-2122 for your ticket to the championship. NCAA football. Be there.
It would have been easy to have been a football player and not a student. And conversely, it would have been much easier to have been just a student and left football for some other day and time. But it wouldn't have been as joyous, as rich, as humbling to have been one without the other. So for all of us, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not for a single award on a single night, but for the many memorable and molding moments that we have had the privilege to call ourselves student athletes. All right.
Well, on first down, the Profs picked up about 6 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 4 for Rowan.
This Eau Claire defense is one that won't give up a lot of in-between yards, but they will give up the big play. And, of course, Rowan can make the big play happen with Ornstein.
2nd down and 4 for the Profs. Ornstein to throw it. Looks, and it is complete to Tamon Bryant. And Bryant out to the 42-yard line, and that's a first down.
Picking on Ben Buss, the junior cornerback on that side. And Ben Buss had a real tough game against Central College of Iowa in the first round. Was responsible for 3 big touchdown completions for Central, and got it back last week. Played a pretty good game, but Buss is definitely susceptible. He wants a good game today.
So it's a first down and 10 for the Profs at the 42-yard line in their first possession of the day. First down. Justin Wright is hit at the line and taken down. Maybe picked up half a yard. It will be 2nd and long for Rowan.
Boy, and Adrian Wilson just flew through the line that time for Eau Claire. Number 49, the freshman out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, playing very well in his first year for the Blugolds. See it right here. Look at Wilson just fill that hole and take him down.
It's 2nd and 10 for the Profs from their own 42.
2nd down and 10. They give Wright nothing on that first play. Ornstein wants to throw. Cuts and slides after the short pickup. So it will be 3rd down and long for Rowan.
And that's what we talked about as well. Ornstein does not have that escapability of a Sean Houlihan. If you can get him out of the pocket, we saw it there, does not have the mobility, only able to pick up a couple of yards on that scramble.
Brings up a 3rd and 8 for the Profs at their own 44.
You see Ornstein flushed out of the pocket, and we talked about the difference in mobility between Houlihan and Ornstein. You see Houlihan looks to run, and Ornstein does not.
Yeah, it's definitely a last resort for Gus.
Shotgun here on 3rd and 8. Ornstein throws. Bryant is open, and he's got the first down across midfield down to the 44-yard line.
And again, it's Ben Buss on that side on the coverage for Eau Claire. Nice pump fake by Ornstein, throws him a little bit, but too much cushion. You cannot give that much cushion to a receiver like Tamon Bryant. Of course, he can make things happen, but Buss is doing a good job of keeping him in front of him. Nice pump fake there from Ornstein, and look at the cushion here. Just too much there. Ben Buss closing, but not enough.
Under 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Justin Wright gets the toss on first down. Wright gets it to the 38 for a pickup of about 5 or 6.
Scott Eads hit him initially there, and Dan Yockey wrapped him up to take him down. Eau Claire has been pretty good against the run this year in the WIAC, the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, which is where they play. Split that league title with 3 other teams this year. Led the league in defensive scoring and defensive yardage. So Eau Claire tough on D, but again, the big play the problem.
2nd down 5. Give it to the big fullback David Sadowski. Maybe a yard. It will be 3rd down for the Profs.
Again, on the run, very tough. That time filling the hole for Eau Claire was number 56, Jason Simic, along with the backup nose guard, Bo Price. Should be interesting to see. Another 3rd and 4. Ornstein so far has had his way with this Eau Claire secondary through the air.
Watch the receivers on a rocket screen, a quick slant to the receivers. They've scored a lot of points and gotten big yardage with that play all season. Ornstein on the delay to Wright. It was a high snap from the shotgun formation. Wright goes forward, and he's going to be close to the first down. And a great effort by Gus Ornstein just to handle that football.
Yeah, and Eau Claire came on the blitz that time, and it looked like number 44, Andy Lehman, just slipped a little bit as he got into the backfield. He was looking to put the hit on Ornstein, and again, it was that draw and just missed Justin Wright. But a nice play by Wright just to keep his momentum going.
Take a look here at the end of the play. Justin Wright left the game holding his wrist. Don't know if he got it jammed into the turf. Well, he is out of the ball game.
He is definitely a key for this team, and they cannot afford to lose him. Over 1,000 yards this year.
4th and inches. Give it to the big fullback Sadowski. Bangs into the line, and he should have the first down. You got a fullback the size of David Sadowski, 6'4", 260 pounds. That's the situation for him. And they pick it up.
Yeah, no measurement on that, no doubt about it. They just drove that defensive line of Eau Claire back. And you look at the size differential, a lot of 300-pound guys on this Rowan offensive line. You look at the Eau Claire defensive line, well, 260, Scott Eads, 285, 275, and Dan Yockey playing defensive end at 240. So definitely an uphill battle. Eau Claire's going to have to use stunts and some quickness today.
6:40 to go here in the first quarter. First down and 10 for the Profs. Gus Ornstein from the shotgun. Ornstein throws incomplete, intended for Sadowski. It will be 2nd down and 10. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Rowan Profs. We'll take a look at that after this play. It is 2nd down and 10 for Rowan at the 33-yard line of Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
You know, Ornstein had Sadowski open, but he threw it a little bit sooner than he wanted to on that play. Scott Eads made a nice pass rush from the outside, was closing, got that big hand up.
Nick Lopez is the single setback. Again, Justin Wright left the game holding his wrist. Ornstein to throw it, looking down the far sideline for Bryant, incomplete. And it will be 3rd down and 10. Now let's take a look at the Rowan offense. We talked about Gus Ornstein, the quarterback. Justin Wright started the game at tailback. David Sadowski, the fullback. Dorsey, the tight end, with Bryant and Trinidad, a pair of good wide receivers. The offensive line, Avery, he's their best lineman. Bosco, Rim, Gagnon, and Cheney. 300-pounder on that right side. We'll take a look at the Eau Claire defense after this 3rd down play. It's 3rd down and 10.
Bryant has caught a lot of balls, nothing to Trinidad so far. Let's see if they go to the split end here.
Ornstein to throw it, 3rd and long. He is going to be taken down back at the 44-yard line. Scott Eads led the way for Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
Well, Eads and Simic, and not only a big sack because it gives Eau Claire some momentum, but it takes Rowan out of scoring position here. This is going to be fourth and very long, and I'm sure they're going to be forced to punt right here.
So Rowan will punt it away. Take a look at the pressure coming from the right side of your screen.
Yeah, really created by Eads, and Simic comes in virtually unblocked. They're coming on kind of a jailbreak there. And Simic, Ludash for Eads, everybody in the backfield.
Mark Migliori will punt. Double duty as the kicker and the punter. Dunn will call for the fair catch at the 10, and we will step aside. 5 minutes, 44 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. We have traded possessions, and we've got no score. We'll be back after this break. Well, it's an overcast day here in the Garden State, but the temperature is un-December-like, as it's about 60 degrees. There's a chance of sprinkles. The lights are on here at the stadium, but at this point, things are dry. We've got no score with 5 minutes, 44 seconds left to go, and you see the shirt-sleeve crowds here on December the 5th. It's amazing. Sean Houlihan on first down. Give it to Darryl Serrata. And let's go down to the sideline to Mickey V for an update on Justin Wright. Mickey?
Thanks, Craig. A real quick report. I spoke to the trainer, Justin Wright, at last possession. Banged up his shoulder, however, is expected to see action. I know Casey Keeler lost a breath for a second there because they can ill afford to lose Justin Wright. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks, Mickey. That's right. A couple of weeks ago in their final regular season game against Montclair State, late in the game, Justin Wright had his shoulder driven into the turf, and hopefully that's not the same injury that has been nagging him the last couple of weeks, although he has performed very well in the first two playoff games. Apparently that is the same shoulder. Houlihan's pass is nearly intercepted by Mark Hendricks. Oh, he had his hands on it and couldn't hold on.
And Houlihan kind of telegraphed that pass. Hendricks read it all the way, and before Osmo even broke on the ball, Hendricks broke on it. Almost got a big interception. Sean just going right to one receiver, and Hendricks read it all the way.
11 interceptions on the season.
And a lot of those early in the year, this series, see it, Houlihan going right to one receiver, never looked off the defensive backs, and Hendricks almost stepped up and made a huge play for Rowan.
Eric Osmo, the leading receiver on the year for Eau Claire. 3rd and 7. So a 3rd and long situation deep in their own territory. Houlihan gets away from one tackler. The pass is nearly intercepted again. That was John Gavlik, the other linebacker, and Houlihan had to escape from Mark Hendricks.
Well, that's what we talked about, that escapability of Houlihan. He almost threw the interception there, but the bottom line is he was able to make a negative play into a play that almost went for something for Eau Claire. Escapes the sack, throws, and almost a great play by Gavlik to make the interception here, but just too tough a catch.
A couple of near misses for the Rowan defense, and now the Profs offense should get the ball in great field position. Jared Wolin with the punt. Fielded by Brian Stoss, and he'll be taken down at the 43-yard line. And we will step aside. No score yet, and we've got a good one here today. The winner goes to the national championship game next week. We'll be back after this timeout. Well, there is Justin Wright on the sideline getting attention on that shoulder. He is replaced by Terrence Williams in the backfield for Rowan. So we will see if Justin Wright will be able to enter back into the game. He has now walked up to the sideline. We'll keep an eye on that situation. There is Terrence Williams on first down, and he is taken down in the backfield for a 2-yard loss by Scott Eads.
Scott Eads, again, just having a great first quarter here. What a great story. Scott Eads is the senior from Rhinelander, Wisconsin, is deaf. He has to read lips to get signs from the bench.
Well, there's the defensive line. There's Eads, Adrian Wilson, Blake Handrick, and Dan Yockey, the front four for the Blugolds. And the linebackers, Chad Ludasher, Jason Simic, Andy Lanin, Ben Buss, Jay Hoyer, the corners, with Scully and Fisher, the safeties. And Ludasher is a leader of this defense. Ornstein's pass is complete to Woolfolk, and he's down inside the 35 to the 33. Bobby Woolfolk.
And that's our first look at the tight end. The backup tight end, Jason Dorsey, out of play, and Bobby Woolfolk comes in, and Ornstein hits him with a strike over the middle for a nice gain that time.
After that 25-yard pass.
Woolfolk, a receiver that's got some size. He's 6'4", 205 pounds, and he's got some speed. but he's playing behind a couple of real good wide receivers. But on the season, he's got 17 catches now for nearly 300 yards. First and 10 for Rowan at the 33-yard line. Ornstein, there's that rocket screen to Tamon Bryant, and it's only good for a yard or two.
Boy, that was the play. Eau Claire was so concerned about in practice all week. They practiced it over and over, stopping that flanker screen, and that time you saw the defensive end come out to help make the tackle. Eads again. Good containment by Eau Claire. They do not want to see that broken for a big play today, and we know that's not the last time we'll see it.
That is the play that Rowan uses to break games open. And as you mentioned, Greg, good coverage out on the perimeter by the Eau Claire defense. 2nd and 9 after the short pickup. Ornstein, pass complete to David Trinidad, and that's the first reception of the day for Trinidad. And it will be 3rd down.
You can really tell that these Eau Claire defensive backs are very wary of the speed that Rowan has at the wide receiver position. That's just a simple hook run by Trinidad, a stop pattern, and you see that, again, the defensive back off the ball. Jay Hoyer that time on the tackle for Eau Claire, but definitely respecting the speed of Rowan. They're choosing to die a slow death, if you will.
3rd down and a long 2. Call it 3. And Justin Wright is back in the ball game. Ornstein back to throw, looking for the corner of the end zone. Trinidad's back there, incomplete.
And very good coverage that time by Jay Hoyer. One-on-one with Trinidad. Looked at him all the way until the ball was in the air and made the turn. Nice play. That's about as well as you can defend that fade pattern.
Trinidad actually caught the ball, but it was out of bounds.
You see here, Ornstein lays it out there nicely. And Hoyer in his face. Good coverage, forcing him wide on that side. And as you mentioned, caught, but not a completion. 4th down now, and a penalty now on Rowan as they get flagged for holding.
That's the first penalty of the day. And it will be 3rd down and 13.
So we'll see now. Ornstein looking downfield. 3 wide receivers make that 4 in the game now for Rowan.
3rd and long for the Profs. Ornstein going deep, and nobody back there.
And again, well defended. It looked like they sent all 4 receivers into a deep pattern, and Eau Claire read it completely. Dan Hankin back there on the coverage along with Kevin Scully, so nothing doing. That time for Rowan, again, it looks like they will have to punt it away.
And here comes the punting unit. Mark Migliori will boot it away. So Rowan has had the better field position of the 2 teams, but neither team's been able to score here in this first quarter of play.
And go figure, we set an entertaining offensive game, and here we are sitting at 0s.
That's why we're up here. Migliori bangs that one. That's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. So with 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go, Eau Claire will have a first down at their own 20-yard line.
Eau Claire has gotten off to very slow offensive starts in each of their 2 previous playoff games. In the first game of the playoffs against Central College, they led 14-7 at halftime, but really didn't get clicking offensively until the second half. And last week against St. John's, drove down inside the St. John's 20 on their first 2 drives and turned the ball over. So this is nothing new for Eau Claire to start sluggish, but Houlihan, Serrata Jones, they have a lot of weapons to work with.
That game last week, they won 10-7, and the touchdown that they scored was after a long drive. They had a fumble into the end zone. And that was the only way they were able to get into the end zone last week. They've got another flag here.
Darren Cornell hopping on that fumble last week for Eau Claire.
Dead ball foul, false start on the offense, still first down.
After the penalty to be 1st and 15.
We'll back them up 5 yards. The second flag of the day, and actually they have been bunched together as played in the last possession. Well, let's take a look at the officials. Here's your referee, Gerard Hughes. We just heard from him. Ricardo Lopez, your umpire. Head linesman Jeffrey Constantine. Edward Getz is your line judge. Robert Doyle, the back judge. And Michael Scanlon is the field judge. And B.J. Jones gets the carry, and he picks up a couple yards on 1st and 15.
Listening to Darryl Serrati yesterday talk with running backs coach Kerry Osborne for Eau Claire, talked a little bit about the fact that they haven't been able to run north-south as well as they would have liked in the playoffs. And remember, they rushed for almost 300 yards in that first playoff game, but they said a lot of their yards came east and west.
Luke Carpenter is shaken up on the field right at the moment, and there's Justin Wright, who's got his shoulder pads off, and he's got a wrap on his shoulder. Well, standing by on the telephone is Michael DeMatteis, who's the sports information director at Mount Union College in Alliance, Ohio, and Mount Union is hosting Trinity from Texas today in the other Division III semifinal. Michael, are you there? Michael. As Michael left us.
That's number 55, Luke Carpenter. Let's give him a hand.
All right, we'll try to reestablish that phone connection.
Good news for Rowan. Carpenter coming off under his own power, running off the field. Looks like he just got shaken up there, but not good news about Justin Wright.
It'll be 2nd and 13 for the
Well, after this
Blugolds.
play, we will talk to Michael DeMatteis, who's standing by on the telephone from Mount Union College. It is 2nd down and 13 for the Blugolds, and Houlihan back to throw it. Looking, he's under pressure. Throws downfield, and it is incomplete. So it will be 3rd down and long. Let's go to Michael DeMatteis via telephone in Alliance, Ohio. Michael, are you there? Michael. Michael DeMatteis, are you there? All right. We'll try to come back to him a little bit later. We're going to be getting live updates from Mount Union. They are hosting Trinity, 2-time defending national champions, the Purple Raiders of Mount Union College.
So far in this game, Greg, Sean Houlihan has done a lot to buy time, but really good coverage by Rowan. He has not had many receivers to throw the football to. It's as simple as that.
3rd and 13. Houlihan looking to throw. He's under pressure again. And he goes out of bounds all the way back at the 6-yard line. And that's a loss of 12 yards.
But in that situation, he had no other choice but to go out of bounds because he was either going to get sacked, and he knew a throw across the field probably meant an interception. So unfortunately for Eau Claire, Houlihan losing some yardage, but at least they don't turn the ball over deep in their own territory, now forced to punt it away.
Under pressure by Leroy Thompson, number 56, and also John Gavlik. And now the Profs look like they're going to rush the kicker. He gets it off. And Clinton Tabb comes up and slides forward and makes the grab at the 38-yard line. So again, Greg, Rowan with excellent field position as they've had throughout this first quarter.
And you get the feeling that Casey Keeler knows it's not going to continue this way, that they've got to take advantage of the field position they've had so far inside Eau Claire territory. They have penalties, sacks, have taken them out of scoring position. So right now, they have got to take advantage on one of these trips.
Well, there is Luke Carpenter on the sideline getting some treatment. Looks like he's got a stinger of some kind on his left arm. And Justin Wright is also on the sideline. Looks like a MASH unit down there on the Rowan sideline. There's Justin Wright getting that shoulder taped up. Looks like he's going to be going back in after he gets taped up.
And without him in there, we clearly see that they have turned into a passing-first offense right now. They are going to the air. And Eau Claire doing a nice job of letting those receivers catch it and wrapping up and not letting them make big plays.
2nd down. Ornstein to throw it. Looking deep, looking for Bryant in the corner of the end zone. He's back there. He hauls it in. Touchdown!
A nice play by Bryant that time, and I think he might have got away with a little bit of a push on Ben Buss, but Ben Buss never looked back at the football, and that is suicide if you're a cornerback. Come on, Bryant made a nice adjustment to it. Ornstein laid it out there perfect, and he initially beat Ben Buss with a stop move. We'll see it here. Ornstein lays it out. Now watch at the end of this play. It looks like Bryant, if we see it, well, we just got there late. A little bit of a push-off, but I don't think it would have mattered. Ben Buss never saw the ball coming. Nice throw by Ornstein, right where it had to be.
The 9th touchdown of the season for Bryant.
Boy, and you saw that one developing from the snap. He was isolated out there on Ben Buss, and Bryant made such a nice play to make a nice stutter move and get past him and into the end zone, and Ornstein just made a super throw. Casey Keeler's got got to be happy. His team has gotten the ball in good field position. His defense is playing well. They've got a lead now. They're at home. And the only thing Eau Claire can lean on right now is the fact that they have been here before. They have been down on the road in the playoffs at 2 undefeated teams and have come away with victories. So, you know, Bob Nielsen's group is not going to quit by any means, but Rowan has to like the way this game has gone through this first quarter.
We have a timeout on the field, but we're keeping it here as the Profs lead it 6-0 on the 30-yard touchdown pass from Ornstein to Bryant.
Migliore on for the extra point attempt for Rowan. Interesting looking at these two kickers for these teams, the exact amount of point after attempts and the exact amount made.
Both kickers 34 of 44 on the season. High snap, and Migliore manages to get it through. Nice job by Joe Siciliano to get the ball down.
Nice hold by Siciliano that time, and that a lot of times, even if he do get the ball down, the kicker's motion has disrupted their rhythm. But that time, Migliore did a nice job of hammering that one through despite the bad snap.
Let's go down to the sideline to Mickey V. He's got a report for us from the Rowan sideline. Mickey?
Thanks, Greg. Reported Quentin Tabb, the co-defensive player to the Jersey Athletic Conference. Hurt knee right now. Hope he'll be back in. But I spoke to both coaches before the game. Casey Keeler, some people speculated because they've been to the Alonzo Stag Bowl 3 the last 5 years, that would be an advantage. He said, no, once the first snap happens, that's all gone. I spoke to Bob Nielsen. Keeler said if there was an advantage, just because the road warriors here, the Blugolds, have been on the road so much, Coach Nielsen said, well, he hopes his team, since it's such a special opportunity to forget about the travel, and they come ready to play. And thus far, they're playing a good ball game. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks, Mickey. That's right. These Blugolds from Wisconsin-Eau Claire have beaten undefeated teams in back-to-back weeks, and that's quite an accomplishment.
On the road. You know, I just heard the Rowan band playing on Wisconsin. That can't make Casey Keeler too happy. That's got to inspire the Blugolds a little bit.
We've got 32 seconds left to go here in this first quarter. It is 7-0. Rowan leading Wisconsin-Eau Claire. The winner of this game advances to the Division III National Championship game, the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl, next Saturday, December the 12th, in Salem, Virginia. And as Mickey mentioned, Rowan has been there 3 of the last 5 years. Dunn from the 2. He's got a seam. Tries to get to the corner. He's got great speed. And he's out to the 39-yard line. And we saw a little bit of that speed that you were talking about before, Greg.
Nice return that time by Dunn. He needed a little bit more of a corner to get that down the field. It closed rather quickly on him, but a nice return by Dunn. And for once, Eau Claire has some good field position to work with. Bob Nielsen has to know that his team is going to start clicking sooner or later. Here you see Dunn making the nice turn, gets some nice blocking, but just runs out of real estate on the left side of the field.
First down and 10 for the Blugolds. Houlihan on the option keeps it. And he slides forward for 3 or 4, and that may have been the final play of the first quarter.
And number 8, John Gavlik.
That will be the final play of the first quarter as we're down to 3, 2, 1, and that's it for 1 quarter of play. So one big touchdown pass from Ornstein to Bryant. And that's it for the scoring of the first quarter. After 1 quarter of play, the Rowan Profs lead the Blugolds of Wisconsin-Eau Claire 7-0. We'll be back after this timeout. Greg Milligan, Greg Newman, and Mickey V here at Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey. Division III National Semifinal. The Rowan Profs leading the Eau Claire Blugolds 7-0. And Rowan really had the advantage in field position in that first quarter.
Finally, it paid off. They had squandered a couple of opportunities to get on the board, and finally, that last drive, Ornstein finding Bryant with a nice-looking touchdown pass. 7-0 Rowan right now.
We start the second quarter with the Blugolds in a 2nd down and 7 situation, and that's Darryl Serrata, and he gets it out to the 45, a pickup of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Eau Claire right now having a tough go on the ground, and they really need to get that established. That's one of the reasons Houlihan has not been able to open up the passing game, because they are used to running the ball and running the ball effectively, and so far it's been 2 or 3 yards a pop, and that's been it.
Gain of 2 on that carry.
Third down and 5, as there is Quentin Tabb getting his knee taped up. So the trainers on the Rowan sideline have been awfully busy thus far. Reverse. Crutchley, he's in trouble, and down he goes. Cornelius White stayed at home, and it's a loss of 4 yards.
White saw that develop from the instant. It looked like Rowan has really studied the film, because everything Eau Claire has tried has not worked throughout this first quarter plus. I mean, Crutchley that time had no chance, dead to rights in the backfield despite his speed.
Jared Wolin will punt it away for Eau Claire. Now we've got a flag. The linesman threw a flag as we were lining up for the punt, and the Eau Claire players are clapping. Let's see what happens here.
And this could be a first down if it's against Rowan.
It's a bizarre time for the flag. Let's get the call.
Substitution infraction on the defense, 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, it will still be 4th down and about 3 now, and Eau Claire will probably still punt it away.
Jared Wolin this year has done all right with distance, but has not had a punt fair caught all year. So his hang time has not been what the coaching staff would like to see. Let's see what he does here.
Well, the streak continues out to the 25-yard line, and the Profs will have it first down and 10. We will step aside. 13 minutes, 34 seconds left in the first half. It is 7-0. Rowan on top of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. We will return to Glassboro, New Jersey after this timeout. We are back here at Rowan University. 13:34 left to go in the first half. Overcast day, but pleasant temperatures in the low 60s. Chance of sprinkles in the forecast.
Justin Wright back in the ball game for Rowan at tailback.
Toss to Wright. He is hit at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And Justin Wright, one of those guys, he's not a real big guy at 5'9", 180, but it is unusual to see him go down the first time he's hit.
Well, that time a couple of Blugolds converge on him. Ludasker as well as Andy Lane. You see him take the toss. Good penetration that time of the D-line, and there's the first hit, and then the second. Ludasker the first to get there.
Saw Andre Rim, number 52, the center. Looked like he had a handful of jersey and then pulled it away and kind of looked back over his shoulder to make sure the official didn't catch him. 2nd and 10. The delay to Wright. Dives over the pile and picks up about 4. So it will be 3rd down and about 6.
Rowan has not run the ball that effectively either, but it seems that they've at least run it enough to keep the Blugolds defense honest to this point. Nothing spectacular, but this time on the delay, Wright was able to squirt through there for about 4 yards, and will set up a much more manageable 3rd down conversion attempt here, 3rd and 6.
3 receivers, Woolfolk and Bryant to the near side, Trinidad to the far side, and it's going to be the delay to Justin Wright. Wright picking and choosing his way, and he should have the first down with second effort. Kind of disappears into the pile.
And I think it's important for Rowan to get Wright established. He's back into the game, give him some confidence, had him take a few hits after getting that shoulder banged up again. Ludasker just taken out of the play that time. Great blocking, as was Lanin. The middle of that Rowan offensive line doing the job that time. Bosco, Rim, Gagnon. Important for the Eau Claire defense to make a stand here, although they have been on the field a lot today.
First down and 10 for the Profs. Their 37-yard line. Gus Ornstein, senior quarterback. Transfer for Michigan State and Notre Dame. And on first down, Justin Wright out to the 41. Let's go down to Mickey V on the sideline with an injury update. Mickey.
He's right down to number 7, Chad Mueller, and number 44, Andy Lane.
Update you on Clinton Tabb, the co-rookie New Jersey Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Banged up his right knee. Trainer said he will see action. It's a little stiff right now. He's just going to loosen it up, back you up in the booth.
Well, that's good news for the Rowan Profs. It is 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain by Wright on first down. Ornstein to throw it, looking down the middle, and now goes to the near side for Bryant, and it is incomplete.
Okay, gentlemen.
And that time it was basically the same route that Tamon Bryant scored the touchdown on, tried to do the stop and go on Ben Buss. That time Buss not fighting at all, and good coverage, no chance to complete that, although Ornstein with a nice job of throwing it only where Bryant was able to catch it.
So it is 3rd and long, and each team, Greg, has been in a number of 3rd down and long situations, and if you're Coach Nielsen or Coach Keeler, you don't want to see your offense in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6 too many times during a ball game.
And again, that has a lot to do with that running game. Both teams very stingy on the ground right now.
3rd and 6 from the shotgun. Ornstein under pressure, gets away, and it is incomplete, and it would have been well short of the first down anyway.
John Stager, the defensive coordinator for Eau Claire, thought that would be a key against Ornstein, would be getting pressure on him, but you have to bring it quickly and make sure you get there because he will burn you. That time, a nice job by the defensive backs. He bought a little bit of time, but still could not find anyone open. Simic comes on the blitz. Still no one open, still no one open. Almost another guy getting there. Ludasher harassing. Finally, just had to get rid of it.
Looked like it was Blake Hendrick that came by and took a swipe also. And it's 4th down, and Rowan will punt it away. Kind of a humpback snap, but Migliori gets off a nice kick, and Dunn will call for the fair catch at the 19-yard line. We've got 11 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in this first half of play, and the Rowan Profs leading at 7-0 over the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire Blugolds, and we will return after this timeout. Early second quarter, 7-0. Rowan leading Wisconsin Eau Claire. A touchdown pass from Gus Ornstein to Tamon Bryant, the only scoring to this point. Eau Claire starting out at their own 19-yard line, 1st down and 10.
Eau Claire really needs to get something established here, whether it's the short passing game or the running game. Neither have really been there for the Blugolds after that first drive today.
Numbers on Sean Houlihan, 3 of 8, 33 yards to this point. Houlihan looking, throws, pass complete to Crutchley out at the 31, and that's a 1st down.
Well, Houlihan had to make the throw, but it was really Crutchley that made that play. Made a nice cut on his out, froze the defensive back, and was able to free himself up. And that's a big completion for Sean Houlihan's confidence.
Crutchley, a senior receiver, one of the leading receivers on the team. He leads the team in receptions with 47 coming in, so he's got 48 now from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Crutchley is really the guy Houlihan will look to in big situations.
That's B.J. Jones. Jones for a yard or two. It will be 2nd down.
And Greg, so far it has seemed like 2nd down has been the down where Eau Claire has struggled. They've gotten a couple of yards on 1st, have not been able to do much on 2nd, and put themselves in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 all day. Key down right here for Eau Claire to get going. B.J. Jones really is a good lateral runner, but Rowan is doing a good job of stringing him out and not letting him get very much.
2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard pickup there. Option. Houlihan goes nowhere. He is dropped up and taken down. Leroy Thompson, number 56, came from behind in pursuit.
Outstanding pursuit that time by the Rowan defense. Houlihan on the option. Normally, if you let him get beyond those first couple of yards, he's dangerous, but that time Rowan shutting it down completely again. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for Eau Claire, and this is not what Bob Nielsen wanted on this series right here.
And we talked about it before, another 3rd down and long situation, and it's tough to get the job done. On the season, Wisconsin Eau Claire has been exceptional on 3rd down conversions, 50.6%, so just over half the time they pick up the 1st down, but 3rd and 7, you're not going to get them half the time. Houlihan to throw it. Down he goes. Too much pressure.
Well, that 50% 3rd down conversion rate is mostly due to the fact that they are normally going at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and when you're going at 3rd and 7, I would like to see what the conversion rate is then, because it cannot be that high. And that time again, Houlihan had no one to throw to.
The Rowan defense to this point has done a good job in controlling the multi-talented Sean Houlihan. And you see the sack. Thompson in there, as well as Thomas Howard. Wolin. It's off the low one. This will be returned. Stopped. Good return out to midfield and just across. So again, Rowan with great field position with 8:37 to go in the first half. We'll step aside for a timeout. It is 7-0. The Profs lead the Blugolds, and we'll return to Glassboro, New Jersey after this break. Casey Keeler, graduate of the University of Delaware, in his 6th season as the head coach at Rowan, looking over the playbook. First down and 10 right on the midfield stripe with 8:37 to go in the first half and a 7-0 lead. Gus Ornstein back to throw it on first down. Goes over the top. Trinidad's back there, and he can't haul it in. He was behind the defense. Ornstein feathered it in. Trinidad just couldn't haul it in.
And that is one David Trinidad would love to have back, because he would have scored on that play if he comes up with it. Jay Hoyard completely fooled, ran it in and then ran it out. Ornstein pumps once. Hoyard fights on the fake and can't get back in coverage this time to get to Trinidad, who luckily drops the ball if you're Eau Claire.
Second down 10 after the incompletion.
Rowan has done their homework on this Eau Claire secondary, though.
Ornstein setting up the screen. It's not developing, so he throws it away. Good job by the interior line of Wisconsin-Eau Claire not to bite on the screen. We've got an injured player for Eau Claire.
And it looks like Adrian Wilson, the freshman, and he is hopping up and hobbling off the field. That's good to see. Bo Price will replace him at nose tackle.
What happened to the head? Brings up a 3rd and 10 for the Profs from midfield.
Eau Claire, Wisconsin, about 100 miles from the Twin Cities of Minnesota. You get a lot of players from the Minnesota area.
They have really expanded their recruiting base under the Bob Nielsen era. Players from California, Las Vegas, done a nice job bringing in talent.
3rd and 10 after the incompletions. Ornstein going down the far sideline for Jeff Love. Incomplete. Some contact on the far side. No flag.
But I think that's a good no call, and the reason is Bryant pushed off on the touchdown pass. They're letting these corners and receivers play, and I think that's good.
Yep. That was Dan Henkin back there in coverage. You watch right at the end of the play, a little bit of contact.
Henkin, a freshman, has really had a great season for Eau Claire. Led the team in interceptions in the regular season and stepped in nicely into that cornerback role.
Oh, another lollipop snap, and it's blocked.
Well, DeRonzo Shepard got it.
Hustling back to recover is Rowan. That would have been a live football. Good hustle to recover it by Evans Pierre. But a lollipop snap, and it gave Shepard a chance to get in and smother it.
And that close. DeRonzo Shepard has been so close in the first 2 playoff games to blocking a punt. I was just talking about it with some of the Eau Claire newspaper people before the game. That time, the snap bad, and Shepard with such speed, that's that guy we were talking about. He's from Las Vegas. Gets in there and just gets his forearms on it, and this is a huge break. Eau Claire's got to capitalize to get back in this game.
Well, Eau Claire gets it first down and goal at the 9-yard line. Serrata, the single setback. They'll give it to him on first down. He goes up the middle, and he's down inside the 5-yard line.
And we haven't seen much of Serrata so far this afternoon. He is more of their pounding running back. B.J. Jones, more of the guy to get outside and make things happen on the perimeter. But Serrata is the guy they give it to when they want to pound you. And let's see if they can't pound one into the end zone and tie this game up here. Rowan really has dominated play, but they're only up 7-0. And it's the kind of momentum change that can really turn the game right here.
Yeah, if you'd ask Coach Keeler, he'd probably say he was disappointed with a 7-0 lead with the kind of field position they've had throughout the first half. Serrata again, he's got a couple of blockers, stumbles forward, and he's down to the 2. 3rd down and goal to go.
It looks like he lost his footing. Had he been able to stay upright, he might have gotten into the end zone on that play, but stumbled a little bit at the 5 and was only able to get to the 2. Huge 3rd down here. They may go option.
Well, here's where a quarterback who can scramble around a little bit gives you a lot of different things you can do. You can roll them out. You can do the bootleg. You can run the option play. So here's where Sean Houlihan has an opportunity to make something happen on 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line.
3 tight ends into the game.
Give it to Serrata, and he is bottled up and taken down. John Gavlik was there, as well as Curtis Collins.
Well, this is a very interesting decision for Bob Nielsen. He loves to go for it on 4th down, but at 4th and 4, and with 6:30 to go and your defense playing well, he's going to bring the kicking game in. Jeremy Brown coming in for a short field goal attempt, and I think in this situation, that's the right move. You've got to get some points on the board because your defense is playing very well right now.
Jeremy Braun will attempt the field goal. Braun on the season, 11 of 20. He's had 1 block. That one is up and good. And just shot.
And just good from 28 yards out. Brown has been one of those guys this year for Eau Claire. If it's from 40 plus, it's no problem. If it's 30 yards and in, he's had some shaky times. Missed a game winner against Stevens Point from about that same distance. One of their few losses, one of their 2 losses on the year.
That was an overtime loss. Each team has lost 1 game in overtime. Or excuse me, that was not an overtime loss. That was a 27-26 loss. But each of these teams lost 2 regular season league games early and haven't lost since.
And that was really one of those games Eau Claire felt they should have won. They led that game by 12 points late in the 4th quarter. Stevens Point was able to get a couple of big plays for touchdowns. Eau Claire drove it down, and Brown, as time expired, missed that game winner. And at that point in the season, at 1-2 in their league, they really didn't feel like they were going to be able to make a run at the postseason, but enough teams ahead of them were able to lose, and Eau Claire was able to play its way back in and finish the year on a hot streak, tying for their league title with 3 other teams. They were the team playing the best football and had beaten both Whitewater, UW-Whitewater, and UW-La Crosse. They were the team that was selected to go from the conference. And I think they made the right choice based on the first 2 rounds.
A couple of impressive wins, 28-21 over Central College and 10-7 last week over St. John's of Minnesota. Rowan, in their 2 playoff games, they defeated 2 teams that they played during the regular season. They beat the College of New Jersey, a league rival, 26-2 in the playoff. They lost to TCNJ during the regular season in overtime, and then they defeated Buffalo State 19-17 last week. And a safety was the difference in that one.
I think it's safe to say that neither Casey Keeler or Bob Nielsen can be pleased with the way this game is going so far, but it still is competitive, still very close. Either team's ball game at this point.
Braun ready to kick it. It's high and fielded by Jeff Love at the 10-yard line. He is hit hard and dropped at the 21-yard line. Coming in to make the play was Troy Fisher.
Troy Fisher, a senior, one of the few guys remaining from that 1995 Eau Claire squad that went 1-9. And then the Bob Nielsen era began the next year, and the rest is history. 5-5 in 96, 7-3 in 97. This year, 8-2 in a playoff berth for the first time ever.
That man, Casey Keeler, has had great success here at Rowan. Throughout this decade, 3 trips to the championship game in the 90s. Justin Wright is popped, and he breaks away. He'll be taken down after about a 6-yard gain, but really that should have been about a 2-yard loss, and that's the kind of thing that Justin Wright can do for you.
Boy, he spun out of that first tackle. I don't know how he got away from that. As the defensive lineman converged on him, looked like they had him wrapped up behind the line, but he busted away. And nice open field tackle here by Jay Hoyard, though. Otherwise, that could have gone for big yardage.
Pickup of 5, so it's 2nd and 5. With 5 minutes and 18 seconds and running left in the first half. Ornstein to throw it. Looking, and it is caught by Woolfolk in midfield. As Bobby Woolfolk breaks away, he's down the far sideline and out of bounds. Down the near sideline and out at the 25.
Nice catch by Woolfolk, and just too strong. Stiff-arm Stan Hankin away from him. He has proved to be a real threat this afternoon.
Wolfolk, a big guy with good speed and a nice catch with the hands.
Look at the nice stiff arm right in Hankins' face. And if he had not gone out of bounds, that would have been a touchdown for Rowan.
So a big pickup of 46 yards and a first down at the 25. There's that rocket screen to Trinidad, and he goes inside the 15. He's still on his feet down to the 11, and that's a first down. Let's go down to the sideline for a report from Mickey V. Mickey?
Thanks, Greg. You know, they talk so much about this high-powered offense over here on the Rowan side, and we've seen how explosive they can be. The defense ranked 11th in the nation, Division III, also giving up just under 13 points a game, so the defense has come to play today. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks, Mickey. And right now, the Eau Claire defense has to figure out a way to stop Rowan as they're moving the ball down the field through the air this possession.
That flanker screen, they talked about at that time, Trinidad working it to perfection.
Justin Wright down to the 9, maybe the 8. It will be second down.
Well, Eau Claire definitely has the offense to come back from a deficit, but I think right now they know this has got to be a field goal for Rowan because the Profs have all of the momentum on their side, and if they can go into the half with an 11-point lead, it's going to be tough going for Eau Claire on the road here.
Right down to the 8, a pickup of 4, second down and 6 with 4 minutes left in the first half. Ornstein under pressure from Lou Dasher, and he goes all the way back to the 24.
And what a huge play by Chad Ludasher. We spotlighted him before the game, and that's the first time we've really seen him make a huge play, but went right for Ornstein's ankle. That's where you have to go on a tall guy like Ornstein. Don't let him get away, and a huge play not only puts them back at the 21, but 3rd and 20 now.
For the Profs.
If they can get a stop here, they can force Rowan into a field goal.
Lou Dasher leading the team in tackles and sacks. That was his 7th sack of the season. 3rd and 20 from the 21. They can get the first down without a touchdown. Ornstein looking down the middle, wide open, touchdown.
Well, somehow Tamon Bryant got isolated on the linebacker, Jason Simic, and came wide open in the middle of the field. Ornstein with good patience. Nobody was open when that play developed, but somehow Bryant broke right into the middle, and Jason Simic had no chance on that play. And that is a huge play.
Second touchdown of the day for Tamon Bryant, who was wide open down the middle of the field, as you'll see, right at the goal line.
And you know the thought there was give up 15 yards, but don't give up 20, and they gave up 20.
10th touchdown reception of the season for Tamon Bryant, and now Mark Migliori will try to make it 14-3. He's got it. Now, what is the mindset now on the far sideline?
Well, Bob Nielsen knows that his team is capable of scoring points. This is a team that really tore up the conference schedule late in the year. 55 points against Platteville, 43 points against UW-La Crosse, 62 against UW-Oshkosh. So Eau Claire can score. But I think the thing that Bob Nielsen is thinking right now is his team has not been in this particular situation where they're looking to go into the half down by double digits in quite a long time. Not really all season. Even in their 2 losses at UW South, that was a close game at halftime. Stevens Point, they were ahead at halftime. So this 3+ minutes, I think Bob Nielsen would at least like to see his team get some positive yardage, get a few first downs, and maybe even get a field goal attempt out of it.
Well, let's go back down to the sideline for a report from Mickey V. Mickey?
Thanks, Greg. You know, I've been asking around, what is a blue gold, the number of players on the other side? They don't know. They just say it's a combination of their colors. For you fans out in Wisconsin, the Rowan Profs are professors. The professors, teachers college that was founded in 1923. Thus, the Rowan College professors, they were Glassboro State College. Again, blue gold, just a combination of their colors. Back to you up in the booth.
The squib kick. And it is still loose. And Rowan recovers it.
Well, really not a good decision. That ball, squib kick, and not handled that is a huge turnover. Eau Claire in danger of getting blown right out of here.
You could see as
Flag on the play.
the Eau Claire players tried to field the ball, it became more and more of a panicky situation. Oh, boy. Offside.
5-yard penalty, free kick.
And that is a huge
Wow. Wow.
Well, we haven't heard much from the referees today, but that is one Casey Keeler cannot be too happy about. He knows his team could have put away this game if they'd gotten the ball right there.
Well, Casey Keeler is making his way out to talk to his kicker. Now he's going to head back
After the penalty
to the sideline. The flag was on the far side of the field, right at the 40. And boy, Eau Claire dodges a bullet there.
You wonder what it's going to take to wake Eau Claire up if they're going to get woken up in this game, because the block punt obviously didn't do it. Maybe this play, maybe this break can do it. And the thing is, Rowan has 14, but you know that they're not done scoring most likely.
3:01 left in the first half. It's 14-3. Rowan leading Wisconsin Eau Claire.
You know they're going to be sure to stay onside. Another squib kick.
Another loose football. That's Ryan Buss, the fullback. And that's going to be a face mask call.
No
Eau
question
Claire's
about
going to
that
end up with the ball near midfield.
Big turn of events, and no question about that one. Buss just really trying to stay on his feet there. Play was basically over, but that time Rowan grabs the face mask, and we'll see who the call is against.
Face mask infraction, 5-yard penalty on Rowan. First down.
It looks like it might have been number 40, Nick Lopez. We'll check that.
It is starting to drizzle here in Glassboro.
After the penalty, we first and 10 for the Blugolds at their own 39.
Anything serious as you take a look at the end of the play, and
It's actually on Wolfo.
yep, got the right hand in there, or the left hand. So Wisconsin Eau Claire with 3 timeouts remaining and 2:51 with which to work. Quarterback draw. Just a couple.
Rowan again doing a nice job of containing Houlihan. He has yet to break a big run in each of the last 2 playoff games. The first round win over Central, he broke a touchdown run of over 30 yards. Last week, their only touchdown came because Houlihan was able to break a run all the way down to the 5-yard line before he was hit. He fumbled. Darren Cornell recovered in the end zone, but so far, Houlihan has not seen much daylight today.
2:15 left in the first half. Clock running. Houlihan looking, throws, and that's complete to Eric Osmo. That's his first reception of the day, and he's the leading receiver coming in.
Osmo again just running it out that time. It seems like in this game, that's when that has been what has been most successful for Eau Claire, when Houlihan's been able to roll out that sprint to the left side and just gun it on the run, and that time Osmo makes a nice adjustment on a low throw.
First down into Rowan territory to the 49-yard line with 1:55 and running. Give it to Jones around the outside. And he picks up about 7 yards. I think they'd want to start thinking about the timeouts here. The clock's still running.
Jones unable to get out of bounds. Well, I guess if you can't open up the pass game with the running game, you do it the other way around. That's what's happening right now.
Take a look at the big hit here at the end of the play. Big collision. Damon Troy took Jones down after the 7-yard pickup.
Not bad for a guy in the secondary coming up making a play.
2nd and 3. Option toss to Jones. He's bottled up. And he's going to be stacked up for a loss. A loss of 2. Clock still running.
Continuing to run and continuing to search for something that works is Bob Nielsen. He's tried that option to the short side of the field quite a few times now with little success. It is something they do well, but so far today, Rowan is taking it away, and we finally get a timeout from Eau Claire.
Wisconsin Eau Claire calls a timeout with 1:07 remaining, and you see Wright, Hendricks.
Great play by Mark Hendricks that time. Ryan Buss stood straight up by Hendricks. He threw Buss out of the way and was the first to make contact with B.J. Jones.
At halftime, Mount Union 21, Trinity 2.
Coming up at halftime, we will have highlights and stats for it, and we'll also be getting an update from that game. And there you see the score at halftime. Mount Union, the Purple Raiders, leading it 21-2 at the half over Trinity from Texas.
It's got to be good news for Mount Union.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping to get an update from Michael DeMatteis, the sports information director at Mount Union. Well, that game 21-2 at halftime.
Mount Union, of course, won each of its first two contests by the identical score of 21-19, so some breathing room here in the semifinals.
Two-time defending national champion. 2 timeouts left for the Blugolds.
Okay. We also got to get a woman.
On third down.
All right.
Well, what a nice play on the sideline that time. Pass broken up by number 25 on that side. Ron Gibson just got a hand in there, and an interesting decision now for Bob Nielsen. 1:02 to go. 4th and 5. Do you want to give it back to this Rowan offense? And it looks like he has decided to go for it as Houlihan has stayed on the field.
1:02 remaining. Rowan has a pair of timeouts left also, so if they would lose the ball on downs here, Rowan would have some time to work with.
And now they're going to talk it over as Houlihan heads to the bench. A frustrating day for him so far.
Just 5 of 10 passing the ball. And as you mentioned before, he gets a lot of yardage running, and he hasn't gotten much today. In fact, he's got negative yardage at the moment, -7.
That has not been the recipe for success for Eau Claire this year. They need him to do a lot of different things. 4th and 5 here. We'll see what Bob Nielsen comes up with. Darren Cornell checking into the game for Eau Claire as Ryan Buss and Anthony Stega come out. Cornell coming into the game with number 89.
Nate Thorson. Coming up at halftime, we will also have scores from the Division II national semifinals as well as the Division I AA quarterfinals. Get you up to date on all the playoffs going on around the country today.
Suffice it to say, in a game of big plays, the biggest right here for Eau Claire.
4th and 5. Houlihan to throw. Now he's under pressure, and down he goes. Short of the first down.
And Bob Nielsen with his hands on his head. Houlihan pump fake to the outside to Thorson. It looked like he wanted someone over the middle, but was unable to elude the rush that time, and the pocket collapsing very quickly. This Rowan defensive line has been in the backfield all day. Osmo breaking open, but it was too late.
Randy Morato, one of the backup defensive linemen, was the final defender to get a hold of Houlihan. 54 seconds remaining. Rowan with a pair of timeouts, and they go right to the air. Ornstein looks, throws, complete to Bryant at the 49-yard line.
You could tell Ben Buss was thinking interception there, but broke on it just a hair late. But a good play to stand Bryant straight up.
That's 6 catches in this first half for Tamon Bryant, who had an outstanding first half, a pair of touchdowns. 30 seconds and running. Pass complete to Trinidad. Tries to get out of bounds, does not. They'll stop the clock long enough to move the chains after the pickup of 7 in the first down.
Well, now you're where you want to be, though, if you're Casey Keeler, because you're at least in range to let Ornstein throw it down the field a few times and see if you can't get something deep. And if you can't, you can always have time to throw an out pattern and perhaps get in field goal range.
Timeout called here by Rowan with 23 seconds remaining in the first half. Profs have 1 remaining.
You know, I like the game that Ornstein has played so far because he hasn't been great, but he hasn't had to be. And I think he is taking whatever Eau Claire is giving him so far, not forcing much, going with the short pass, and when he's had an opportunity, beating them deep.
Ornstein 12 of 20, and half of those completions have come to Tamon Bryant. Actually, all of his passes, all 12 completions, have come to the wide receivers, Bryant, Trinidad, and Woolfolk. You would think here with a first down and 10 and with a timeout remaining that Ornstein would Maybe trying to go over the top now.
Look for Bryant again. Trinidad seems to have been his man to pick up some control possession yards, and Bryant has been the guy to break some big ones.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Ornstein's got time to throw it. Now it breaks down. Throws for Sadowski, and incomplete. Rowan fans want pass interference and no flag.
And I think the call there is incidental contact. Definitely could have been a flag thrown there, but the referee decided that there was nothing. You see Ornstein throw it here, and incidental contact right there. Really an uncatchable ball. Well, Sadowski so far has had a couple of opportunities where he was open, but Ornstein unable to get him the football.
2nd down 10, 15 seconds remaining. Low snap. Ornstein throws incomplete, intended for David Trinidad at the 30. And now 9 seconds remain, and it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, this is likely to just be a Hail Mary with 9 seconds left. Possibly an out, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get into field goal range either way for Mark Migliori.
Well, Migliori's longest of the season is 42. So you need to get about 16 yards and then use that last time out. Flag. Ornstein goes deep. Trinidad's there, incomplete. Probably going to be a hold back here at the line of scrimmage with 3 seconds left. Illegal shift on Rowan.
Well, Rowan with a chance to put this game away if they could have gotten into the end zone, but Eau Claire with a nice job here to keep them out and really not allow much of anything on this drive.
Get the call from our official.
Illegal motion on the offense. I should accept a 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Gerard Hughes, the official, and we've got a timeout. Rowan. Well, you've got 3 seconds left. Time for one last shot. Obviously, Gus Ornstein has enough arm strength to get it to the end zone from the 46-yard line.
And that's all they can hope for right now. They'll probably send Bryant, Trinidad, and whoever else they can throw out there down the far sideline and just heave it up into a pile.
You see Ornstein's effort there on the penalty, and Trinidad down there.
Jay Hoyard again. He has done a nice job today on Trinidad. But it's been the other guy that's killed Eau Claire, Tamon Bryant.
Tamon Bryant with a big day. 6 receptions, 2 of them for touchdowns, a 30-yarder and a 21-yarder. And really, Eau Claire with an opportunity to score a touchdown. They had 1st and goal at the 9 after the blocked punt. They could only get 3 points out of it, and that had to be disappointing as well.
Been some interesting play calling from Eau Claire on that particular case. Recovered it at the 9-yard line, ran 3 consecutive times, and were unable to get into the end zone. And Bob Nielsen, not a conservative offensive mind by any means, but on that particular possession, he has himself admitted that at times he falls in love with his running game a little bit too much, and maybe that was the case of it.
4 receivers, Trinidad and Love, go out to the top of your picture. Woolfolk and Bryant to the bottom. Hail Mary time. Low snap. Ornstein's in trouble, and down he goes, and he doesn't get a chance to get a pass off, and we are at halftime. So we're at halftime with the score 14-3. The Rowan Profs lead the Blugolds of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. And in just a second, we'll go down to Mickey V with Rowan head coach Casey Keeler. I think we're ready. Let's go down to Mickey with Casey Keeler.
Thanks, Greg. Right here, Coach. I know semifinal, you're up 14-3. Evaluate the half course. What are you happy with? What are you disappointed with right now?
I'm really happy with the way they're playing defense. A little concerned with some of the injuries we have right now because it's really hurting our special teams. We lost our punt returner. We lost 2 snappers. We were in a situation where we always going to make our punter the snapper and put a backup punter in. But we think we have the snapper back, so you know, some things that happened that with a 48-man roster you're trying to adjust for, and we gave him 3 points because of that.
I know you said the wild card is going to be the quarterback, Houlihan. You're doing a great job of containing him. What are you going to tell the defense at the half, despite the playing great, to keep focused and keep him in the pocket?
Yeah, you 30 more minutes. I mean, this kid's, you know, a heck of a player, and as long as we keep on doing the things we've been doing, we'll be fine. But in a long game, he'll make a play or two.
All right, great half. Thank you, Coach. Back you up in the booth, Craig.
Thanks, Mickey and Coach Keeler. It is 14-3 as the Rowan Profs lead the Wisconsin Eau Claire Blugolds. And Greg Newman, your quick impressions on that first half?
Well, I think obviously Rowan has done pretty much what they've wanted to do, at least defensively in this football game. They've talked about the keys, and Mickey and Coach Keeler mentioned containing Sean Houlihan has been a key. But I also think penetration by that defensive line, and the Eau Claire offensive line is used to pushing people around. They did it throughout the season. They did it in each of their first 2 playoff games. They're not doing it today. I think there's got to be a frustration level to a certain extent for the Blugolds. On the other side of the football, nothing spectacular from Rowan, but they're taking what Eau Claire is giving them. They're getting down the field piece by piece, and when they've had an opportunity, they've made some big plays. And Tamon Bryant, to this point, has to be considered the most valuable player of this football game offensively.
Well, let's step aside for a break. We are at halftime. It is 14-3. We've got a lot coming up for you at halftime. Highlights, stats. We've got an interview for you when we get back from this break. It is 14-3. The Rowan Profs lead the Wisconsin Eau Claire Blugolds. We'll be right back.
When it's time for pizza, it's time for the best pizza in town at Sammy's Pizza Palace in downtown Eau Claire. Whether it's dine-in, takeout, or delivery, Sammy's Pizza can cure your pizza urge. Plus, Sammy's offers free delivery, so you don't even have to leave your home to enjoy the best pizza in town. Don't forget to check out Sammy's noon buffet lunch, and look for Sammy's coupons in the Leader Telegram. When you want pizza, it has to be Sammy's Pizza. It's a family tradition.
We are at halftime, and it is 14-3. The Rowan Profs lead the Blugolds of Wisconsin Eau Claire. A pair of touchdown passes from Gus Ornstein to Tamon Bryant, the difference for Rowan. And now let's go back down to Mickey V on the sideline, and he's got a special guest. Mickey?
Thanks, Greg. I'm here with Dr. Chris Johnston. She's a graduate of Wisconsin Eau Claire, but she also teaches here at Rowan. So obviously, Doc, you kind of mixed ambivalent feelings out here. Can you tell us who you're rooting for out there?
I'm rooting for the team that's going to win.
You can't lose that way. But again, I know. Talk about your time here at Rowan. What are the things that you enjoy? I know you're a teacher, educational leadership. Talk about the program a little bit.
The program at Rowan University has been developing very nicely in the last several years. We have a doctoral program now that operates out of our department. Very excited about. And we continue to have growth with our engineering school, our School of Education, and our College of Communications. Excellent program.
I was going to say that with the infiltration of that $100 million several years ago, not just the the athletics, but the academics are growing here as well. What are some of the things for the future, maybe for some prospective students out there, why they should come to Rowan to pursue that higher education?
I think the reason to come to Rowan primarily is because we look at the learner, and we emphasize that, and our new president has said very clearly that when parents send their children here, they know that they're going to be looked at as individuals and how they learn and develop. So it's a very exciting program. We have very strong standards, and that's extremely important, but we have a very, very caring faculty, and there's nothing that can beat that.
Again, within your field, educational leadership, what are some of the emphasis for some of the potential teachers out there if they are considering coming here to the Teachers College, again, founded in 1923?
Well, our College of Education has developed very nicely over the last years, particularly as we've looked at expanding our special education and looking at resources for children with special needs. But in addition to that, we have a new dean, Dr. Sisko, and he brings with him new energy and new perspectives. And within the Department of Educational Leadership, of course, we continue to expand our master's program for people who are studying to be principals and superintendents.
I know, again, a graduate of Wisconsin Eau Claire back in 1967. You must bring back some great memories. You're over there sitting on the other sideline, so we won't tell the Rowan fans here you're sitting with the Wisconsin Eau Claire fans, although we just did, but you must bring back a lot of great memories over there.
It does. I was raised in Eau Claire, so Wisconsin's my home state, and Eau Claire is my home city, and the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire is a special place in my heart. Really provided me with foundation and perspective on life, and so good that we recruited 13 students from New Jersey to go to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. But in addition to that, our family members, our son and daughter-in-law and so forth have all been a part of this tradition, so we're very proud of it. I think it's a great combination to have Rowan and Eau Claire playing each other.
Again, it's almost like winning the lottery. Nobody could expect this. But what are some of the things at Eau Claire that you've seen? I mean, the football team, this is their first appearance ever in the NCAA Division III playoffs. they're growing as well, not just here at Rowan University.
That's right. And again, University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire has always had a very strong academic program. And I think based upon that and the type of, again, faculty makes a very big difference. And Eau Claire has always prided itself on faculty that cares for students. I did some recruiting for them over the years and helped develop an alumni film for recruitment. And so I've stayed in pretty close touch with them. Again, they have a new president, a new chancellor, and that's exciting for them also. And so I think as we enter the 21st century, we see both of these institutions building very strong bases and then developing into what's going to be cutting-edge education for students both in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
What are we going to have to do here to keep you on our sideline as opposed to when that bus leaves to go back to Wisconsin? I know you got the number 1 Rowan here, but you also, if you look down here at her feet, she's got the Wisconsin colors on her feet here.
That's right. Well, I spent the last 20 years of my life in New Jersey, so I also have roots here, and our children were raised here, so it's not like I'm going to get on a bus and go back. The bratwursts were good, though. I have to say that. We don't get the same ones out here. But by the same token, when you spend over half of your life outside of the state of Wisconsin, you also begin to develop other affections and other affiliations. I think the best thing about living here in South Jersey is that in many ways it's very similar to Wisconsin because of the ruralness, but we have orchards, and it's been a very, we've been very blessed to be here, to be raised in Wisconsin and be able to have our adult careers and professions develop here in New Jersey. So it's been excellent.
We appreciate your time, and we've been blessed with a great football game. Thanks for coming out, Doc. We appreciate it. Back you up in the booth, Greg.
Thanks, Mickey, and thank you, Dr. Johnston. And what were the odds that we would find a professor at Rowan University who graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire? We managed to do it, and we appreciate her taking time out from her day here at the game to stop by for a visit. It is starting to shower lightly here in Glassboro, New Jersey, but we should be okay for the second half. The ball may get a little slick, but we should be in good shape. Just calling for some light drizzle and some sprinkles this afternoon. We are at halftime. It is 14-3. The Profs lead the Blugolds, and we will step aside. We'll be back with some stats and highlights after this timeout. We are at halftime. The Rowan Profs leading the Blugolds of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire by a score of 14-3. Tamon Bryant with a pair of touchdown receptions in that first half from Gus Ornstein, and that was all the scoring for Rowan. Wisconsin-Eau Claire had a chance to get a touchdown as they blocked a punt, recovered the ball inside the 10-yard line at the 9, and had to settle for a field goal as the Rowan defense stepped up and stopped the Blugolds and forced Wisconsin-Eau Claire to settle for 3. So it is 14-3 at the break. Again, the Division III semifinal today. The other game going on, Mount Union and Trinity. And we'll be getting a halftime score from that one in a little bit. We're also going to update all the other scores in Division II and Division I AA this afternoon. But first, let's take a look at the first half highlights of our game here this afternoon. Both teams came out ready to play. The opening drive of the game on 4th down and inches, the Blugolds go for it, and the pass was ruled out of bounds, and Rowan took over on downs, 1st down and 10. The opening drive for Rowan on 4th down and 10, up the middle by the big fullback Sadowski, David Sadowski, 260-pounder. He picks up that 1st down. Same drive, 3rd down and long. Jason Simic and Scott Eads with the big sack of Gus Ornstein, and Rowan is forced to punt the ball away, and the defense to step up the first possession. 3rd and 13 for Wisconsin, deep in their own territory. Sean Houlihan scrambles and then is forced to just step out of bounds for a huge loss, a loss of 12. Wisconsin-Eau Claire forced a punt from their own end zone. Rowan takes advantage of starting deep in Wisconsin-Eau Claire territory. Corner of the end zone. Tamon Bryant, touchdown, a great effort in the corner for the score, 7-0. Injuries to the long snappers, a problem for Rowan. The punt blocked right there by Shepard. Recovered by Rowan, 1st down and goal for the Blugolds. But they weren't able to do anything with it as they have to settle for the field goal. Jeremy Braun right there with the chip shot field goal makes it 7-3. Wisconsin-Eau Claire gets something. Down the middle, look at that great catch by Bobby Woolfolk with the hands and the nice stiff arm. Picks up 46 yards and he does the toe dance down the near sideline. Rowan's passing game started to click. 3rd and long here. Ornstein back to throw, looking down the middle. He had all kinds of time and finds Tamon Bryant at the goal line wide open for his 2nd touchdown of the day. Wisconsin-Eau Claire now 4th down and 5, late in the first half. He can't pick it up, scrambling under pressure, and down he goes. Rowan gets the football back with less than a minute. Casey Keeler tries to get something together for some more points. But in the last play of the first half, you'll see that Ornstein unable to get anything going as he is under too much pressure, and down he goes, and it is halftime. 14-3. The Profs leading it over the Blugolds of Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
Grip clamps from Menards make any project go easier. They go on with just one hand and grip tight. Get several for woodworking or repairs. This 6-inch clamp is just $8.95. Solder or thaw pipes with the Burns-O-Matic torch. This utility torch kit is just $8.77. This self-igniting torch kit starts with just a squeeze of the trigger. $12.98 after rebate. Warm up to big savings at Menards. Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Damon Garza took it in from 22 yards out for Trinity, cutting the Mount Union lead to 21-8. The 2-point attempt failed. Then Trinity forced a 3-and-out, and now Trinity has the football once again, down 13, and we've got 11:41 to go in the third quarter.
So do you think that Mount Union is in control of that football game at this point?
Well, they were at one point in the first half. The statistics that really jumped out was Trinity had just 2 yards rushing in the first half. They were pretty much one-dimensional, but here in the second half, they've done a better job of running the football, and we're going to have a good ball game the rest of the way. The weather's turning bad a little bit now. We've got some rain. It's cooling off a little bit, so weather conditions may play a factor, but right now, Trinity has the football, and they trail by 13.
We are starting to get some late showers here in Glassboro, New Jersey as well. Now, your Mount Union team, the defending national champion, any surprise this year with the loss of so many key players that they are back in this position again this season?
I'm sorry, Greg, I couldn't quite hear. Mount Union just had a sack, so you're going to have to repeat that real quick.
Are you surprised at all with the loss of so many key players from last year's team that you're back in this position with another shot?
I think there's no question, especially with the schedule that Mount Union plays. Mount Union's 13 opponents so far this year, 7 of them were ranked in the top 15 in the country at the time Mount Union played them. And with a relatively young offense, Mount Union plays a lot of sophomores on offense. Pretty veteran defensive team, but a very young offensive team. Coach Karras and his staff have done just a terrific job this year.
Well, Michael DeMatteis for Mount Union College, we thank you for joining us today, and we'll look forward to talking to you again perhaps late in our second half or in our post game.
All right, enjoyed it, Greg. Thanks,
Mike. Michael DeMatteis, the sports information director at Mount Union College in Alliance, Ohio. He gave us an update on that Division III score. Let's take a look at our entire scoreboard as we've got the Division II semifinals and the Division I AA playoff picture as well. There's that score, 21-8 in the third quarter. The winner of that one plays the winner of this one next week in Virginia for the title. Let's take a look at the Division II. Slippery Rock and Carson Newman from Tennessee. That score is tied at 7, and that is in the second quarter. And Texas A&M Kingsville, formerly Texas A&I, is trailing Northwest Missouri State at home 7-0. That game in the first quarter just underway. Division I AA, quarterfinals. Georgia Southern leading Connecticut 7-0. That game scoreless. Florida A&M and Western Illinois in the first quarter of play. Lehigh, the Mountain Hawks, leading the Minutemen 14-13 at the half. That looks like a dandy in Massachusetts this afternoon. Appalachian State and Northwestern State, that's 14-10 at halftime. Northwestern State leading that one. So we've got you up to date on all the scores. We're going to step aside for a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the first half statistics of our ball game. It's 14-3 at the half. The Profs lead the Blugolds. We will return after this timeout. Well, back here at Rowan University, unfortunately, we were not able to get Coach Nielsen because we ran out of time during the break. But let's take a look at the first half statistics. Rushing yardage in that first half, just 13 for Rowan and 29 for Eau Claire. Neither team very effective. 190 pass yards for Rowan, 203 total, and 81 yards total offense from Wisconsin-Eau Claire. There was a turnover in that first half. Rowan 5 penalties for 33 yards. The time of possession pretty balanced in that first half, although Rowan had much better field position throughout the first half. We're going to step aside for one final break. We'll be back for the kickoff of our second half. It is 14-3. The Profs leading the Blugolds at halftime. Back for the second half kickoff after this timeout. We are set for the start of our second half today as the Rowan Profs and the Blugolds of Wisconsin-Eau Claire are ready to go in the second half. It's 14-3. And I want to make a correction. There were no turnovers in that first half. There was a turnover, but it was called back because of the offsides penalty. So no turnovers in that first half. And the rushing yardage, really surprising how low it was for both teams.
And the total yards showing that Rowan 14-3 on the scoreboard and dominating even more statistically. 203 total yards to Eau Claire's 81. That's the kind of domination Eau Claire hasn't seen all year.
Rowan will have the football first. Jeremy Braun approaches it, and we're underway, and Love will field it at about the 3 in a light rain. Love's out to about the 24-yard line, so it will be 1st and 10 there. The ball came loose, but the whistle had already been blown.
It should be interesting to see what kind of intensity Eau Claire comes out with as we have an injured Rowan player. It is Love.
That's Jeff Love who returned the kick, and he was hit pretty hard, and he is down. A lot of injuries in that first half for the Profs. Justin Wright re-aggravated that shoulder, but he stayed in the ball game, or returned to the ball game.
Certainly if Rowan comes away with a victory, it could be a costly one. They've had a lot of people go down here today. Love, a freshman out of Camden, New Jersey, went to Woodrow Wilson High School. We hope he's okay.
Let's see if we can pick up what happened here. At the end of this play, Love is hit pretty hard. Something may have happened at the bottom of the pile, as there was quite a pile.
Well, he gets stuck right there initially, and looks like it is a knee. May have just been caught in the turf. He was driven back by about 4 Blugolds that time, and very possible he just got that knee locked up in the turf.
Well, he's up, and some assistance coming off the field. But it's 1st down and 10 for the Profs at their own 25-yard line. Just underway in the third quarter. 14-3, Rowan on top. That's Terrence Williams. So Williams starts the second half with a nice piece of running. Out to the 32 and a pickup of about 7.
Well, Justin Wright not out there right now, but as you mentioned, a nice piece of running by Williams. Take a look at Ornstein's numbers in the first half. Nothing spectacular, as you mentioned, but look at the yards per pass. Only 12 completions, but almost for 200 yards. And, of course, those 2 big touchdowns to Tamon Bryant.
2nd down and about 3. And it is Williams again, and he is hit hard. Close to the 1st down. He should have it.
It seems as though they're having a tough time wrapping up on some tackles today. Justin Wright in the first half was able to break one. Terrence Williams this time gets stuck by Andy Lane in number 44, but sloppy tackling, and really just looks like a lethargic Eau Claire football team to this stage. 1st down again for Rowan University.
I don't see Justin Wright on the near sideline.
Nor do I.
Ornstein throws. Come on, Bryant, incomplete. Oh, boy, it looked like he made a great catch. He had slipped and fallen and still managed to catch the ball, or so it appeared. We've got a flag on the far side of the field.
Well, the rain came down, and it's getting a little bit slippery out there. It's going to be tougher for these receivers to make their cuts, and that time Bryant, a victim of the wet turf, and he caught that football.
He certainly did. It bounced off of his knee. Good angle, good look at it with our replay. And this is going to be against Rowan. Let's pick up the call.
Downfield on the offense has been declined. 2nd down.
So it's 2nd and 10. Take a look at this play again. Watch as the ball will hit the knee and stay off the ground.
And the referee was a bit behind Bryant on the play and was blocked by Ben Buss, number 6. I don't think he got a good look at it.
Once you have the benefit of slow motion. And Ornstein's got to call a timeout as he didn't like something. And we will step aside for a break. We've got 13 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the third quarter. We're watching the NCAA Division III National Semifinal. Rowan on top, early in the third quarter. Second down and 10 for the Rowan Profs after Gus Ornstein was forced to call a timeout. He still had 9 seconds on the play clock. It must have been something that he didn't like with the Eau Claire defense.
Long yardage situations have not been a real problem for Ornstein today.
Toss to Terrence Williams, who's in there for the injured Justin Wright. And it will be third down and long. Let's go down to Mickey V, who has an update on Justin Wright. Mickey?
Thanks, Greg. I spoke to the trainer. Justin Wright is now on the sideline. He did re-injure that shoulder. It was a stinger, but he is expected to see some more action. They're just playing it play-by-play right now. Back you up in the booth, Greg.
All right, Mickey, thanks for the update. Justin Wright injured that shoulder in the final regular season game on November 14th against Montclair State University.
Well, Terrence Williams certainly with some talent, but only a freshman, not with the experience of a Justin Wright. Only touched it 77 times in the regular season.
Rowan today, as you see, on third down, 3 for 9, just about their season average, around 33%. Trinidad gets the reception, the first down and more, and he's down to the 43-yard line, and there's that rocket screen.
Well, Eau Claire stopped it once today, but twice they've been burned for big yards, and that is Rowan's bread and butter. Eau Claire knows they're going to run it, and they're seeming to bite on that fake. They're going after Gus Ornstein, and Duranzo Shepard had a shot. And if you get your shot at those wide receivers, you've got to make the tackle, or else they're going to make big plays.
David Trinidad now 5 receptions for 52 yards on the day. First and 10 for Rowan at the 43-yard line. Pass for Trinidad complete. Down to about the 38-yard line, a pickup of maybe 5.
Well, Rowan doing what they want to right now. The short passing game has really worked to their benefit today. Ornstein just with a quick 3-step drop here, and he's just going to throw an out pattern. That's been there. Eau Claire has decided, apparently, they're going to give them that play, and Trinidad has been the ball control guy today.
Williams, the tailback behind Sadowski, who moves in motion. Give it to Williams on second down. Flag comes in, and Williams taken down at the line of scrimmage. That might be a hold.
The vicinity in which that flag was thrown, you really would wonder.
Ludasher made that tackle, and we talked about him at the beginning, but we haven't talked about him a whole lot throughout the day. He had a sack in the first half, but for the most part, he has not been overly involved in a lot of the plays today.
Well, they haven't really had a chance to get pressure on Ornstein. He's been using a lot of quick drops. I think that's good coaching by Casey Keeler and his staff, recognizing that they were going to try to come after him and give him a chance to make some plays with his arm. The deep drops they have taken, they have had some problems. Eau Claire's been able to get after him, but on those short drops.
On the offense has been accepted. 15-yard penalty, still second down.
A big penalty there, an illegal block. And that's going to move the ball all the way back. I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up. It might have been on Andre Rim, the center, number 52.
It looked as though it happened right in the middle of the field there. It may have even been on Sadowski, the fullback.
Big penalty.
Well, it takes them out of 2nd and 3 and makes it 2nd and 18. Changes what you want to do. Eau Claire, watch them try to come with a blitz here, perhaps.
4 receivers, 2 on each side. Rocket screen. Complete to Trinidad. Flag on the far side of the field. Trinidad takes it down to the 36, but we've got a flag on the far sideline at the line of scrimmage.
Well, again, the rocket screen, the flag looks like it's going to be on Rowan again, but boy, that rocket screen, Eau Claire has just not been able to figure out how to stop it yet.
Well, that's going to be the 7th penalty, and now Rowan over 50 yards in infraction. And on the season, they had 94 coming in, so they average around 8 or 9 per game, and they're right there today.
Both of these teams averaging right around the same amount of penalties.
Illegal shift on the offense, still second down.
They're going the wrong way here, 2nd and 23.
The only good news is that on a 3rd and 20, they threw a touchdown pass earlier in the game, so certainly this offense capable of picking up big chunks of yardage, and they're going to have to here.
Second down 23 from their own 43-yard line. Shotgun formation. Ornstein looking to throw. A lot of pressure. And down goes Ornstein near the line of scrimmage.
Well, that time they came inside with the blitz, and Eads, Simic putting a lot of pressure on Ornstein. Did a nice job, actually, to get away and buy himself some time and get back close to the original line of scrimmage, but no time to go, and you knew Eau Claire had to come with pressure that time.
Interesting story, number 73, Scott Eads. He's deaf, and the officials last night in the meeting were instructed to, if they have to talk to him, look him right in the face because he's an expert lip reader.
Takes the same signals from their captain, Andy Lanin, for plays as well.
Ornstein looking deep for Bryant, and just a little too far. Good coverage on Bryant by Ben Buss.
Well, Ben Buss gave up the one big play for the touchdown today, but really, as much as they picked on him, he stepped up and done a nice job. The Eau Claire defense, the bottom line, has kept the offense in the game. And right now, the offense has got to get something going if Eau Claire is going to make a stand and make a game of this.
And you see the coverage, good coverage by Buss, forcing Bryant to stay on the outside. Buss at 6'1" has the size to be able to cover a guy like Tamon Bryant, who's listed at 6'2".
There's another high snap.
Migliore gets the kick off, and it rolls down to about the 21, and that's where Wisconsin-Eau Claire will set up shop first and 10. We'll step aside, 10:50 left in this third quarter of play. It's 14-3. The Profs lead the Blugolds national semifinal. We'll be back after this break. It was there, maybe another step.
A little more lenient.
And Osmo would have had that in stride.
And that's really the first time we've seen today Eau Claire try to go down the field. They have the capabilities to do that, but we have not seen it to this point. They're going to get a nice gain out of this penalty.
Interference on the defense. Automatic first down.
15-yarder.
Well, it's a good penalty if you're Gibson. If you get beat, you have to take that. Osmo has good speed.
You think that was a message from Eau Claire that we're going to come right at you?
Well,
First play of the second half. Take a look at the numbers from Houlihan.
Only 52 yards passing. Sean can't be happy with that.
That's Serrata. Darryl Serrata out across the 40. And let's go down to Mickey V on the sideline. He's got another injury update for us on the Rowan side.
Thanks, Greg. I want to report Clinton Tab Deco, rookie defensive player here at NJAC. Also leads the team in interceptions. Out for the ball game, banged up knee. Back to you up in the booth.
Well, that is certainly, thank you, Mickey, that's certainly bad news for the Rowan defense. And that may be one of the reasons that they're going to be able to go up over the top.
A costly game. Again, we'll save for Rowan.
Houlihan to throw it. On 2nd and 3, he's under pressure. Gets away. Oh, boy, did he get popped. He picked up the first down. He popped right up. But, boy, did John Gavlik put a lick on Sean Houlihan. Heard it all the way up here.
Well, Sean Houlihan, that's what Casey Keeler was worried about. That's the kind of escapability. That time he's able to get out of the pocket as you look. A nice rush this time from Rowan as number 94, Thomas Howard, almost got him, but Houlihan able to escape, get outside the pocket, and pick up a first down, and that's exactly what Casey Keeler talked about yesterday. Did not want to see Houlihan as he just gets leveled.
Might have been Mark Hendricks, too.
John Gavlik putting the final wraps on him, but I think you're right, it was Hendricks.
First down, that's Ryan Buss, and he rolls into the secondary, and he's down inside the 40.
Looking like
13-yard gain.
Looking like the bus Jerome Bettis that time. Ryan Buss, seldom used. Great blocker that time. Taking it up the middle on the fullback draw. Eau Claire mixing things up a little bit now. I don't know what took them until the third quarter to do that, but right now they have found a couple of plays that have worked against Rowan. This is a huge drive for the Eau Claire offense. They need points.
Ryan Buss averages only about 3 carries per game. He picked up 13 yards in his first one here today. Option. Houlihan keeps it, and he's down to about the 36.
And the big key right now is Eau Claire is getting yards on first down. They're setting themselves up in good second down, third down situations. and they look a little bit crisper. They look like they're running their plays. Their blocks are crisp. Houlihan is getting off the ball, as are the running backs.
Coach Nielsen must have had some inspiring words in the locker room for them.
Coach Nielsen does not take a loss well. What coaches do, but you can bet that he let them know the defense was keeping them in this game and they needed to do their part. Nielsen calls the plays. He has some pride on the line.
Flags, and that's going to be a delay of game.
Well, trying to go from the shotgun that time might have even been a shotgun draw setting up for Sean Houlihan.
Still second down.
Just the second penalty of the day on the Blugolds.
Early in the year, Eau Claire, they had 92 penalties in the regular season. A lot of those came the first 3 weeks of the season in the non-conference schedule. They really racked up a lot of penalties, a lot of new players this year on offense. Once that offense got clicking, that offensive line got comfortable with each other, those penalties went down.
Shotgun formation on 2nd and 11, and now another flag.
Well, you say a good thing about them, and they do it again. But I'll tell you what, this is not what Bob Nielsen wants to see. His team is moving the football inside Rowan territory.
Full start on the offense. Second down.
And now they're looking at 2nd and 16.
And we see Bob Nielsen there with the headset. We saw Rowan do this exact same thing in their opening possession. They had some penalties that backed them up in the wrong direction. Now it's 2nd and 16.
Bob Nielsen said he always used to wear a shirt and tie when he got his first coaching job at Ripon College in Wisconsin because he looked too young to be taken seriously. He has continued that look.
Houlihan pump fake, looking for Osmo, and he overshoots him, and it is intercepted. Damon Stroy.
Well, I think Houlihan would love to have that pass back. It was just never there. That was obviously the first option, but he threw into double coverage. Osmo never was open. Put it right into the hands of the defensive back. And again, Eau Claire shooting themselves in the foot.
That's the first turnover of the day, the 17th interception for the Rowan defense. They are now a +8 in turnover ratio, and for Sean Houlihan, his 12th interception that he has thrown this season. First down, yeah, Terrence Williams gets wrapped up for a big loss that time as the Eau Claire defense, Scott Eads in there first for the Blugolds.
So Justin Wright, still not back into the game for Rowan, makes them a pretty one-dimensional team. As we said, Williams is not the burst that Wright has. Eau Claire, anyway, even when Wright has been in there, has done a good job against the running game today.
At the start of the season, there was some question as to who the starting tailback would be, and Justin Wright separated himself from the pack, and he's had a great year since he was named the starter early on. Terrence Williams on the toss. Not much there. Adrian Wilson over there, as well as Scott Eads again.
And Wilson hurt earlier in the game. You can see he's still hobbling a little bit, number 49, but out there, he knows this could be Eau Claire's last game of the season if they can't make some plays, so they're putting it all out there.
Good pursuit from behind by Eads.
Eads has really played a super ball game today for Eau Claire. He has been one of the big reasons Rowan only has 14.
6'4", 260 pounds, and he showed some good quickness. 3rd and long. That's a draw to Williams, and maybe gets a yard. Well, the defense certainly did their job.
Well, we talked about them not wrapping up on tackles. That time, on that particular possession, they wrap up. But interesting, 3 running plays. Ornstein obviously can put the ball in the air. You wonder why they would go to that conservative game plan with still 7 minutes left, and Eau Claire's going to get the ball in good field position now.
And remember, Migliori has had some trouble with the snaps as both of the snappers are injured. They're down to their 3rd string snapper. And there's already been 1 punt block today. It's a little better there. Pressure, and it's blocked. The punt is blocked. And Wisconsin-Eau Claire's got it at the 10-yard line.
Well, now you really have to get into the end zone if you're Eau Claire. I mean, they blocked a punt before, ran 3 times. kept out of the end zone. I think even if it comes down to a 4th down, Bob Nielsen's probably going to go for it to try and get on the board, get in the end zone here. This team needs a shot in the arm, and the special teams have come up with it. We take a look at the replay. Good snap this time, you're right. But Migliore unable to get it off, and again it was Duranzol Shepard, number 4, the freshman from Las Vegas. He has made a huge difference in this game today.
Yeah, that was just a pressure block. So Wisconsin-Eau Claire, this is how they got their first 3 points, and now they look for more here. It's a sweep. Jones towards the corner, and he's down inside the 3, down to about the 1.
Looks like he's going to be just short. Buss with a great block on that sweep that time. Got out there in front of B.J. Jones. Cleared the way, and Jones almost got into the end zone. And it's going to be 1st down and goal at the 1. Well, Eau Claire will definitely be unhappy. But look at Buss. Get out there, clear the way, made a great steal block, and Jones just tripped up at the last second, or he was into the end zone.
I think you're right. Wisconsin-Eau Claire has more energy here in this 3rd quarter. Give it to Jones, and he's in for the touchdown.
Yeah, and that was easy. You saw in the first half, those plays did not come that easy. The holes did not open like that. Rowan looks like they're getting a little bit tired. Or Eau Claire simply has more energy, as you mentioned. But this is now a very serious ball game, especially with the injuries. Now those really come into play for Rowan.
And you see the touchdown run as Jones plunges into the end zone for the score. That makes it 14-9. And it looks like
Bob Nielsen's probably going to go for 2 here. He loves to do this. And they have converted quite a few on the year. First round game against Central College of Iowa. Went for 2 to make it a 7-point game late. We'll see what they come up with here.
Well, they're down 5, and being down 4 isn't much better. It's batted down at the line of scrimmage, so it's no good. So it's 14-9, and we will step aside. 14-9 with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to go here in this 3rd quarter of play. Eau Claire taking advantage of 2 blocked punts and turning them both into points.
When it's time for pizza, it's time for the best pizza in town at Sammy's Pizza Palace in downtown Eau Claire. Whether it's dine-in, takeout, or delivery, Sammy's Pizza can cure your pizza urge. Plus, Sammy's offers free delivery, so you don't even have to leave your home to enjoy the best pizza in town. Don't forget to check out Sammy's noon buffet lunch. And look for Sammy's coupons in the Leader Telegram. When you want pizza, it has to be Sammy's Pizza. It's a family tradition.
Menards has great gift ideas that you can use year-round. This screw-drive Chamberlain garage door opener is just $129. Buy now and get a free keyless entry or mini transmitter that fits on your keychain. Sunbeam gas grills make a great gift. This grill is holiday priced at only $189. This deluxe grill is just $259. Be a smart Santa and save at Menards.
More season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Gordon is way behind. Stick a fork in Jeff. He's done. Oh, my. What is he thinking? Oof. Holy Baloo. What the heck is that?
That's got to hurt.
Well, what could possess a man to drive like that? Gotcha. He's making his move backwards. Gordon wins.
We got to get him a cup holder.
Take a look at that Eau Claire touchdown. B.J. Jones behind that big offensive line, right behind his fullback, Ryan Buss, and Eau Claire right back into this football game. Bob Nielsen knows his team hasn't played well. They really didn't play well last week against St. John's, but came out with a victory. He knows that this game is very much theirs to take right now, 14-9.
A pair of blocked punts have set up all 9 of the Blugolds points today.
And by the same guy, Duranzol Shepard, number 4. He's gotten both of them for Eau Claire.
We'll go down to Mickey V after this kick. We've got some more injuries for Rowan. That's Taman Bryant. Remember, Jeff Love went down with an injury. Let's go down to Mickey V on the sideline.
Thanks, Greg. Now down on the field is Marcus Ruffin. Apparently, looks like, according to the training, possibly broke his arm. Good news if you are a Prof fan, however, because this is a young defense, and they do fluctuate, and they wear from 20 to 22 players throughout the game on defense to keep players fresh. And Casey Keeler said it's a young team, and in January, it'll be the best team they've ever fielded here at Rowan University. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks, Mickey. Boy, as you mentioned before, Greg, if Rowan would win this game, it could end up being a costly victory for them.
Absolutely, but right now they just have to worry about winning it, period.
That's right. Ornstein complete to Bryant for about a 4-yard pickup.
And I'll guarantee you another thing. Casey Keeler right now could care less about his team in January. 14-9 right now. He knows his team had chances to put this one away in the first half, and they were unable to do so. And Eau Claire, Road Warriors, resilient, won their first 2 playoff games on the road, as we said before. Looking to do it again.
Second down and about 5. Ornstein wants to throw, goes over the top for Bryant, and that's going to be a flag. That's going to be pass interference on Buss.
Well, that time Ben Buss got his head turned, but clearly was pushing Bryant out of bounds. And the line judge right there to see it. Here you see the good throw by Ornstein, and Ben Buss with that right arm just kind of pushing Bryant down to the turf. And they continue to go to that side and come on Bryant.
Let's get the call.
And now they may be saying it's uncatchable. Let's see. Nope, still a penalty.
Pass interference on the defense. Automatic first down.
Well, a penalty-laden third quarter here for both teams.
Interesting that last possession for Rowan deep in their own territory, they ran it 3 times, and that's really not their game, especially when Justin Wright's not in there.
Wright has not seen any action here in the second half. Terrence Williams is in trouble, and he is wrapped up and taken down by Dan Yaki.
It's the first time we've called Yaki's name today, number 92, the senior out of West Allis, Wisconsin. Really a free spirit, the guy who kind of keeps his team loose. Wears dreadlocks and just kind of shrugs off his blocker there and got outside. Really, the guy who made that play, though, was Adrian Wilson from the nose guard position. Dove in and got around Williams' ankle to slow him up a little bit before Yaki put the wraps on him.
Yaki, one of just 3 seniors on this Eau Claire defense. Second down 11. Ornstein wants to throw, sets up the screen to Sadowski. Big collision. Down he goes. After a short pickup, the ball's loose. Let's see. Looks like the official's going to say down. Boy, the Eau Claire sideline erupted.
Yeah, defensive line coach Al Sega was halfway down the field with his arm going the other way, but it's going to stay with Rowan. That was set up nice, as you see here, but that pass kind of floated on Ornstein and allowed the Eau Claire defense to close. Wilson gets there. What a game he's playing. And Kevin Scully also there to wrap up. He's making the final tackle. That's close. Boy, there's been some calls in this game that could have gone the other way.
3rd and 8. Sadowski throws, knocked away, and a nice defensive stop on the far side of the field by Jay Hoyer.
Well, Eau Claire right now is taking the game to Rowan University, and that is the exact opposite of what happened in the first half. Hoyer here up on this out pattern. In the first half, Eau Claire was sitting back and letting them make those catches. Not that time. Hoyer out there and almost made a big interception.
Well, here comes one of Eau Claire's best weapons, Dorenzel Shepard. And the punt blocking unit, they've blocked 2 today and have turned both into points.
Now you almost wonder if it's a mental thing for Rowan.
Migliore gets that one off, fielded by Dunn at the 15-yard line, looking for a wall. Has a block in the back.
Well, and you can hear the Eau Claire coaches above us. At worst, if Dunn gets to the 25-yard line, that's not a problem. But a block in the back that time by number 89, Nate Thorson, and that's going to cost Eau Claire. That's going to put them deep inside their own territory.
Maybe it's just as well that our viewers at home couldn't hear exactly what the coaches were saying.
Well, the special teams unit here at Eau Claire, a fiery bunch, and obviously it can result in good plays as we've seen on the block punt, but you don't want to face their wrath. Well, of the momentum changes in this game, it seems that it's the second Shepherd pump.
Right
there it is.
there.
No doubt about it. Thorson trying to say, I didn't do anything, but there's the flag. And Dunn unable to break one today.
So the Blugolds start back at their own 12-yard line with 2:27 left to go here in the third quarter. And a 14-9 Rowan lead. First down, that's Houlihan. Not much.
Well, that was designed to be a run, and if Houlihan had been able to get outside, his wide receivers were blocking well for him, but again, unable to get out of the pocket. And even though this score is close, Sean Houlihan has had a frustrating day.
Got 9 carries now for 5 yards. And this is a guy coming in who had nearly 600 yards rushing on the season, which is unusual for a quarterback.
He could play running back. I mean, that's how athletic Sean Houlihan is, but not today.
2nd and 10. That's Serrata. And he is bottled up for nothing. Good pursuit by the Rowan defense. Thaman Wright, the leading tackler on this Prof defense, made the stop.
Well, Rowan has a good chance here as Thaman Wright just flew through that line of scrimmage. Again, they try to run wide. Serrata not a guy they usually try to do this with, and Wright had him dead to right in the backfield that time and just wrapped him up. Well, this is a big third down because Rowan can get the field position back in their advantage if they can get a hold right here. And how big does that penalty look now?
Well, we talked about Wisconsin-Eau Claire's 50% conversion on third downs. Not today. 1 for 8. Throwing one up to Osmo and overshoots him by about 5 yards. And the Blugolds will have to kick it away. 1 for 2 passing here in the third quarter by Houlihan.
That time Houlihan never really let Osmo even get a chance at that one. Usually you want to maybe give a pump fake, wait until your receiver can run under it, but clearly Osmo never had a chance to run under that football. And he has hit Osmo on big plays this year, but they have not been able to do it today.
Jared Wolin will punt it away. Rowan looks like they're trying to come to block, and a high snap, and Wolin has to do a great job just to get it off. Well, what a great athletic play by Jared Wolin, who had to go way up the ladder to grab that ball.
And then it got an Eau Claire bounce, at least. Rowan will get it, though, in very good field position at the Eau Claire 40-yard line.
Just 54 seconds remain here in this third period of play. National semifinal. Division III, the Rowan Profs leading it 14-9 over the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire Blugolds.
Well, you really get the feeling that 1 or 2 plays here could really make the difference now. 14-9, Rowan deep in Eau Claire territory here.
And not as many points as we were anticipating today. Samad Bryant with a shoestring catch, but he's actually going to lose yardage.
Well, that rocket screen has worked well today for Rowan, but you have to execute it, and that time Ornstein threw it at Bryant's feet, and he never really got a chance to take off. Ben Buss close and was able to make the tackle. Good rush by Lane, and may have rushed the throw a little bit.
So we have 2nd and 14 for the Profs at the Blugolds.
Normally, Bryant likes to catch that while he's already running forward and take it downfield. Wasn't able to do it that time.
Ornstein 5 of 6 in the second half for 29 yards. Not a lot of offense for either team here in the third quarter. Ornstein, pump fake, looking for Trinidad into double coverage, and a nice catch at the 21-yard line.
Trinidad for a first down.
Well, that time Trinidad was able to get Hoyer on his back, and Hoyer tried to reach over his smaller receiver and knock the ball away, but a good job of Trinidad hanging on to the football. Good concentration. Here you see it on the replay. He put it right where it had to be, did Ornstein, and Hoyer, boy, had that not been a completion, might have even been pass interference.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter of play. Wisconsin-Eau Claire got closer, but the Profs are on the move. After 3 quarters of play, it's 14-9. Rowan leading Wisconsin-Eau Claire, 15 minutes away from a trip to the national championship game. We'll be back after this timeout.
The University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire Foundation is delighted to sponsor this broadcast of Blugold football. The UW-EC Foundation supports and funds scholarships for students and provides funding for cooperative student-professor research programming. Both the foundation and the Blugolds follow the tradition of excellence, supported by the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. The foundation is proud to present this Blue Gold football game and says, good luck, Blugolds.
Today, when you buy by the room, you can save up to 50% at Wood Factory Furniture and Home Decor.
Quality and value. Wood Factory has your guarantee of quality and style at the lowest price. Bedrooms, dining room, and living room furniture of the highest quality at the lowest possible prices. Unique items, quality furnishings, great savings.
Plus, no payments and no interest for 6 full months, and Wood Factory's guarantee of price and satisfaction.
Well, we begin the fourth quarter of play, and you take a look at the Wisconsin-Eau Claire sideline, and their defense needs to come up with a big stop here, and there are some of the hardy fans who made the trip, the Road Warriors.
They packed up about 80 people for a 20-hour bus ride from Eau Claire just to come to this game. Got here this morning. They want to see a victory.
Or it would be a very long ride home. First and 10 for the Profs at the 20. Pump fake, looking for Bryant. There's a flag on the play, and it's through the back of the end zone, incomplete. Couple of flags down near the line of scrimmage.
They had another Rowan player down, one of their offensive linemen, it looks like, but he is slowly getting up. That's number 69, Bert Cheney, the senior from Browns Mill, New Jersey.
Another penalty against the Profs. Let's get the call. Cheney is going to check out of the game as the trainers are coming out on the field.
On the offense has been accepted. Still first down.
Well, they just continue to fall by the wayside, and if you're Casey Keeler, this has just been a series of bad luck. And Eau Claire relatively unscathed through this one so far.
Justin Wright is out of the ball game. Clinton Tabb is out of the ball game. Now Bert Cheney is down. Luke Carpenter was injured, and Marcus Ruffin, a backup defensive back, broke his arm. Ornstein's pass is incomplete, a little high, intended for Bryant, covered by Buss, and boy, they've been battling all day today.
That has been a great battle, and Buss continues to get picked on, and they must have watched film. As we mentioned earlier, Buss has had a rough playoff. He's been burned deep a few times, and you get the sense Eau Claire is really starting to creep up on those out patterns. It's either going to result in a big play for Eau Claire or a big play for Rowan.
We've got a timeout on the field as the Profs have called timeout, so we will step aside. We've got 14:50 left in regulation, and it is 14-9, the Profs leading it. We'll be back in a moment.
The University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire Alumni Association is pleased to present this broadcast of Blue Gold football. The UW Alumni Association was founded in 1921 and strives to develop and maintain mutually beneficial relationships between alumni, students, and faculty. Both the Alumni Association and the Blue Golds follow the tradition of excellence supported by the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. The Alumni Association is proud to present this Blue Gold football game and says, good luck, Blue Golds.
Like money? Then save money with quality, affordable housing from Holiday Homes. Shop Holiday Homes now and take advantage of spring clearance pricing. Stop throwing your money away on rent. Start saving money with a quality home from Holiday Homes on Highway 53 in Chippewa Falls. When you want affordable housing from someone you can trust, turn to Holiday Homes. Family-owned and operated, Holiday Homes has over 50 years of combined experience in providing quality, affordable housing in the Chippewa Valley. Let the experts at Holiday Homes work for you.
Hey, Mr. Internet Wonderful. What? Over here. Over here. You think you got it all, don't you? Well, there's a tiny little voice inside saying there's got to be something new, something that makes you want to stand up and say, yeah, baby, this is what I need. Yeah. Here it is. New Pepsi One. Massive cola taste, only 1 calorie. Got it all. And you know what it's saying to you, don't you? No. Put down your mouth and curl up with me, baby, because I'm all you ever need. I want that. You want that. I want that. He wants that. Now you got it all, baby.
New Pepsi One.
Well, we are in Glassboro, New Jersey, about a half an hour southeast of Philadelphia. It is a pleasant day. We've had some light showers, but overall, for December the 5th, you can't really complain if you're outside in shirt sleeves.
Eau Claire thinking pass here with 5 defensive backs in.
Second down and 24 after the penalty. Got to get all the way to the 10. Ornstein to throw it. He's under pressure, and down he goes, back at the 41-yard line.
Well, that's why there were 5 defensive backs in. It's Troy Fisher coming on the corner blitz that time, and untouched, able to get to Ornstein before he could get the ball off. Big sack.
Loss of 6 on that play. Brings up 3rd and 30.
3rd and 30 now for Rowan, and out of field goal range, so that was a huge play.
Ornstein now has been sacked 4 times.
Well, we talked about it earlier. John Steger knew he had to bring pressure on Ornstein today, and has done that, has made it a short passing game.
Well, 3rd and 30. Ornstein to throw it. Complete to Trinidad. And they'll give him forward progress to the 29. So it's going to be 4th and 19, and Gus Ornstein's hurt at midfield. Oh, boy.
Well, he was converged on by a couple of Blugolds defensive linemen, and as soon as he threw the ball, he was crunched, and he does not appear to be in good shape. This is not a good sign for Rowan at all. Let's take a look at who gets to him first. They run a couple stunts, and it's Dan Yockey, who hit him right in the midsection. It looked like maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. We hope that's all it is.
Well, some anxious people on this near sideline. Maurice Bin is the backup quarterback for Rowan, and he might want to start loosening up. Number 19 for the Profs.
And they're looking at his left knee, it looks like, trying to stretch him out.
Well, he's up, and that's a good sign. Looks like he's going to be all right.
Well, that's a good sign for Rowan. Boy, they cannot afford to lose Gus Ornstein for this game or for any other game in this season. He has been their main trigger man.
See here, you're looking at a 47-yard field goal attempt if they're going to try it, or is Migliore going to punt? Let's see.
Well, 4th and 19, and without your quarterback who has to come out for a play now due to the injury timeout. So looks like they are indeed going to punt this one away, and why not? Their defense has played well today. Eau Claire, even in the second half, they got the touchdown, but again, well, they are going to go for the field goal.
Field goal attempt. Migliore on the season, 6 for 10. This would be his longest of the season. It's got plenty of leg, and it is good. Mark Migliore with a 47-yard field goal, his longest of the season.
Boy, and that was kicked about as perfectly as you could. I mean, that might have been good from 50. Migliore with a big leg that time, and that is a huge, huge momentum changer. Eau Claire not only has to get into the end zone now, they have to get a 2-point conversion to even tie this game up. 47 yards.
Just when it looked like the Eau Claire defense had done their job, Rowan picked up just enough yardage on 3rd down to get into range, and actually that was 5 yards longer than Migliore's longest for the season. So Mark Migliore comes up big with a field goal, making it 17-9, and we'll step aside for a break. 13-18 left. It's 17-9. Wisconsin-Eau Claire still a touchdown and 2-point conversion away, and we've got a lot of football left.
Add warmth to your home with area rugs by American Rugs from Menards. Attractive 5x8 foot rugs are durable and stain resistant in 12 contemporary styles to enhance any room, just $39.88 each. Moen faucets last a lifetime. They're all on sale. This single handle lap faucet is just $47.89. A matching tub and shower faucet is only $53.89. Save on everything for your home at Menards. More season's greetings to you all from Menards.
We're always dealing at Corner Motors.
The folks at Corner Motors would like to say thank you to each of their customers for all their business during the last year. They would also like to send out a warm season's greetings to the community for a blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year. And best wishes for another great year in '99.
Call 1-800-777-FEEL. We're always dealing at Corner Motors.
UW-Eau Claire Blugolds playoff football on WQO W18 is brought to you by Pepsi for the next generation. Pepsi says, go Blugolds.
Even the man who works only once a year gets to relax in his own soft tub. Now at CV Soft Tub, get in-store and factory rebates of up to $400 off a soft tub, and you've got a soft tub for less than $36 a month. Get what you deserve this Christmas from CV Soft Tub and Gifts in Oakwood Mall, Eau Claire.
Back here at Rowan University, and there you see Gus Ornstein walking around, shaking it off. It looks like he'll be okay, as he was on the ground in what appeared to be some pretty big pain. And there is Mark Migliori. Migliori just knocked through a 47-yard field goal, his longest of the season. And there are the numbers on the season for him, 7 of 11 now. And that one was his long for the year.
Well, a lot of time for Eau Claire, but again, nothing even close to a sustained drive for them in this second half so far.
Jones on the kick return out to the 34-yard line.
Well, Sean Houlihan has made big plays this year, and it's time that he makes them now. He has had a very rough day. He's been confused by this Rowan defense, but if he ever needed to come up with a big drive, it's right now for Eau Claire. And Rowan, on the other hand, knows a couple more stops, and they're headed to the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl.
1st and 10 for the Blugolds. Houlihan wants to throw. He hasn't completed one yet in the second half, and that was knocked away by Curtis Collins.
Well, that was just a spectacular individual effort by Collins. That play developed exactly the way Eau Claire wanted it to. Osmo got open over the middle on a post route, and Curtis Collins, you see the throw here by Houlihan, really right where it has to be. Maybe the best ball he's thrown all day, but Collins just getting there to break it up.
Collins got the hand in at just the right moment, and there you see the fourth quarter score for Mount Union, Ohio, 27-22. Trinity has come roaring back on the road. We'll have another update later on. Jones on the carry out to the 41. It's going to be 3rd and about 3. I believe that Mickey V down on the sideline has an update for us. Let's go down to Mickey V on the sideline.
Thanks, Greg. I spoke to the Rowan trainer about Gus Ornstein. He said he was just a little banged up. They were checking him for precautionary reasons. He's okay. The other side of the ball, however, defensively for Wisconsin Eau Claire, Scott Gerber out for the ball game, strained ligaments in his leg, his knee. Big linebacker for the team sorely missed. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks for the update, Mickey. Mickey's been busy with the injury updates this afternoon. Houlihan's pass for Osmo is high and incomplete. Houlihan yet to complete a pass in the second half.
And he had Osmo open that time, and he knows it. You could see he put his head down as soon as that ball was released, because Osmo had broken on an out route and definitely had first down yardage if he would have put it there. Here's the replay. Houlihan throws, and you see Osmo on the side. Really no one near him, just over his head.
So Wolin will punt it away, and Stoss is back deep. High snap way over the head of Wolin. Wolin picks the ball up, and his momentum carries him into the end zone, and he'll take the safety. Considering the alternatives, Wolin did the right thing there in taking the safety.
Absolutely. Well, you wouldn't know that it was Rowan's long snapper the first two long snappers that were hurt. That time, Eau Claire, big mistake. Jared Rowland, as you mentioned, doing the right thing to get out of the end zone, but certainly not what Bob Nielsen and his crew needed at this point. That could be the death knell, because that means Rowan gets the kick, gets the ball right back.
There you see the snap as it goes over the head of Wolin. We'll take a break. We've got 12:08 remaining, and now it's 19-9. As the Profs now lead it by 10 points in the fourth quarter. We'll be back.
If you care about your investment, call Osseo Plastics about Fabic sprayed-on liners. Fabic liners are custom sprayed and allow installation of all popular accessories. Fabic sprayed-on liners provide a rugged, airtight barrier from everyday wear and tear. Fabic liners permanently protect your investment with a non-skid surface for load control or a smooth wear surface for a non-stick load release. Protect your investment. Discover Fabic sprayed-on liners at Osseo Plastics.
In a medical emergency, because the patient is a person, the care must be personal. You need a prominent medical facility, leading technology, and you need physicians and nurses certified and experienced in emergency medicine. You're seldom prepared for an emergency. You deserve emergency care that comes from the heart.
Hey, Mr. Internet Wonderboy. What? Over here. Over here. You think you got it all, don't you? Well, but there's a tiny little voice inside saying there's got to be something new, something that makes you want to stand up and say, yeah, baby, this is what I need. Yeah. Here it is. New Pepsi One. Massive cola taste, only 1 calorie. Got it all. And you know what it's saying to you, don't you? No. Put down your mouth and curl up with me, baby, because I'm all you ever need. I want that. You want that. I want that. He wants that. Now you got it all, baby.
New Pepsi One.
Boy, the special teams have been a problem today now for both teams, as Wisconsin-Eau Claire, all 9 of their points have come directly off of blocked punts, and now Rowan gets a safety on a snap that went way over the head of Jared Wolin, the Eau Claire punter.
Troy Fisher, he's been snapping it all day, but that time sailed it way over Wolin's head, and Eau Claire now down 10, and they'll have to kick away, and Rowan should get good field position. This free kick, of course, comes from the 20-yard line, so Rowan has a good chance now to get a couple of first downs and salt this game away.
David Trinidad in the offense ready to come out. Trinidad's got 8 catches on the day, and with 12:08 remaining, and they're going to get the ball back, Rowan has a chance here to really take command of this game. Rowan's kick, fielded by Bryant at the 25. And he's all the way out to the 48-yard line.
And as we saw earlier, they're 20 yards away from field goal range now, because Migliori with that big leg. But you know that Casey Keeler right now is thinking ball control, run the clock. You've got a 10-point lead. Even if you don't score on this drive, try to take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock and put Eau Claire into basically a 2-minute offense for the rest of the game.
There's the update from Mount Union. Mount Union now, the Purple Raiders have scored a touchdown. They lead it 34-22 with about 6 minutes to play in Ohio. Flag on this play as Terrence Williams gets the carry. And Williams is wrapped up after a short gain.
Flag on the play.
Well, that's not going to help you run the clock if you're Rowan University. And it looks like we may have a hold on this play. Let's see. No, illegal motion. Well, the running game since Justin Wright has gone out has been non-existent. And Rowan's offense has been nearly as non-existent. Gus Ornstein doing what he can with his arm.
Illegal motion on the offense has been declined. Second down.
Well, Claire declining the penalty, so simply deciding that getting the ball back as quickly as they can is more important. It'll be 2nd and 10 as opposed to first. Make that 2nd and 8 as opposed to 1st and 15.
There's Terrence Williams on the carry, and there is Justin Wright, and he has not played in the second half after re-injuring that shoulder. Terrence Williams bobbles the toss, and he manages to get it back. And boy, that was nearly a disaster for the Profs.
Certainly, I think Casey Keeler's got to be happy he's up 10 at this point, but cannot be happy with the way his team has played. And really, when you look at this game, Greg, neither team has really played well, and we have another Rowan player down on the ground with an injury. You see, Williams never got a handle on this one, but was able to get it back.
Well,
and it is Williams who is down.
Well, let's go down to Mickey V, who has an update on Justin Wright, who went down in the first half.
Thanks, Greg. Well, I spoke to the trainer again moments ago, and what he told me earlier was he was going to be back in the ballgame by looking at the scoreboard to really save him in case they can get to that Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl. They love to have him for that championship. Greg?
Thanks, Mickey. And at this point, with Terrence Williams down now, you may go to Laquan Majette, who is another backup tailback. Well, you might have to get Justin Wright back in that ballgame.
Well, I think at this stage, with a 10-point lead, even if Williams can't come back, I don't know that you go back to Wright, only because you do want to save him for that Stag Bowl.
Sure.
Right now, the chances do look good for Rowan. I mean, 11-21 to go in a 10-point lead, even if they have to kick this ball away. Eau Claire's got a long field to go, and then they'll have to get the ball back, assuming that they do score. But Williams seems like he is seriously injured. They are now trying to work on his leg, it looks like, down there at midfield.
Well, we showed you a moment ago the score from Mount Union, Ohio, or from Alliance, Ohio, Mount Union College. We again have Michael DeMatteis on the telephone, and he's going to give us an update. We saw the score, Michael, 34-22. What can you tell us about your ball game?
Well, we've got an update since then. It's now 34-29. Trinity got a 19-yard run from Damon Garza with 3:27 to play here in the fourth quarter to cut the lead to 34-29. In fact, at the beginning of this half, with Mount Union leading 21-2, Trinity scored 25 unanswered points to take a 27-22 lead. Mount Union came back to make that, a 22-21 lead, 20 consecutive points. Mount Union came back on a Gary Smeck touchdown pass to Adam Marino, 27-22. Then again, he hit Marino. It was 34-22, and then Garza went in with 3:27 to play. Mount Union now is at the 45, looking at a 2nd and 2, trying to run out the clock.
Well, Michael, thanks for that update, and we'll be back to you for a final score. Our score here is 19-9 with 11:08 remaining. And that pass was incomplete on the far sideline. So now Rowan will punt it away, and punting has been an adventure today now for both teams.
Ornstein's third down pass, really nice play on the sideline. Jay Hoyard has played a great game at cornerback for Eau Claire. He has really been aggressive.
Some confusion in the interior line for Rowan, and now a flag comes in. That's going to be 5 on Rowan. Andre Rim was checking out of the game and then turned around and came back in, and it's going to be some kind of illegal motion, I would think. Now they're going to wipe it off. All right.
Well, Eau Claire's best plays today have come on punts, and Duranzel Shepard, number 4, has 2 blocks today, set up 9 Eau Claire points, and he's in there again on the corner looking to block another one, perhaps.
Get word from the sideline that Terrence Williams has an ankle injury, and they're taking off his shoe and are going to take a look. Migliori gets off a good kick. Fielded by Dunn. Gets away from the first guy. Looking for that wall. And a fumble, and recovered by Eau Claire. It looked like Nate Christopher recovered it for the Blugolds. Nearly another disaster.
Dunn trying to make something happen. Eau Claire desperately needs a big play, and he was trying to make it. Just didn't have the wall there and got it stripped. And Nate Christopher, Johnny on the spot that time for Eau Claire. Well, still time. Still time for Eau Claire. 10:54. But again, we said it. They just have not been able to get anything established.
We're really only down 2 scores here at 19-9. But as you mentioned, the offense not able to do a whole lot. And on first down, Florida is popped by Thaman Wright and Leroy Thompson.
Well, Thaman Wright can smell the Stag Bowl right now. I think he came through and put a lick on Serrata, sent a message to him that it's going to be awfully tough in this last 10 minutes to make a comeback against this defense, which has played exceptional football today. Well, we knew they were bigger than Eau Claire in a lot of positions, and right now that size is really paying off.
Hernandez throw it, pass complete. Out to the 43-yard line. That's Nate Thorson, and he got popped after getting the first down.
Another couple of bone-crunching hits that time as Curtis Collins and converging on the tackle.
And Greg, that's the first pass completion in the second half for Sean Houlihan.
And those are the kinds of passes Houlihan likes to throw. Quick slants, getting guys running down the middle of the field. They haven't had a lot of that open, but let's see if he can't get a couple of passes together here.
Serrata. He gets maybe a yard.
And you wonder if there gets to be a point where Bob Nielsen has to abandon the running game. With 9:40, I think that 9:40 and counting, he's got to start thinking about time and the fact that they're going to have to stop Rowan after they score, if they do score. You don't like to go away from it completely, but let's face it, it hasn't worked today, and you have to go with Sean Houlihan. And there's the ankle of Terrence Williams.
Looks like he is done for the day as the shoulder pads are coming off. This blue-gold offense averages almost 250 rush yards per game, and they are well under 100 right now. There goes Houlihan, though, down the far sideline, and he's going to be close to the first down. I think he's got one.
And he got out of bounds. That's the biggest thing about that play. Inside Rowan territory, give yourself a new set of downs. He thought about throwing it. You see Rowan on the pursuit there, but John Gavlik and Cornelius White, neither of them could catch Houlihan.
Go ahead, Greg.
That's only the second time today, Greg, that you've really seen Houlihan be able to get out of the pocket, and still he only gets about 10 yards on that play.
I'll tell you who he reminds me of in the NFL is Jake Plummer of the Arizona Cardinals, formerly of Arizona State University. He kind of reminds me of him, the way he runs and the way he throws the football. Houlihan looks, throws back, and it's incomplete. A little bit behind Anthony Sega, the tight end.
A good idea by Eau Claire. They're starting to move Houlihan around that pocket, throw back to the middle of the field. And you're right, just a little bit behind Anthony Saga, his first year as a starting tight end. Houlihan's throw had Saga open, no one there, but just behind him. And Houlihan really has to be unhappy with himself today.
Saga's older brother Al is the defensive line coach here at Eau Claire, and they are cousins with Junior Seau, linebacker for the San Diego Chargers. Houlihan on the quarterback draw picked up a few, and it's going to be 3rd and long again.
And I think the thought on that play right there was, this is 4-down territory from here on out. Let's get a few yards and set ourselves up for 3rd and 4th down. Houlihan, you know, this play has worked for big yards this year, but again, not today. Number 75 for Rowan that time. Mike Bardone breaking through and dragging Houlihan down by his ankle. So
just got enough. 3rd and 6. From the 38-yard line, there's your situation. 19-9. Houlihan wants to throw. He's in trouble. Gets away. Throws. Pass complete to Darren Cornell. And what a great job by Sean Houlihan to keep that play alive.
Houlihan kept the play alive, and give credit to Cornell because he worked back to help his quarterback out. His pattern was run to the middle of the field. He saw Houlihan in trouble, just kept working towards the sideline, and finally got open. Houlihan able to hit him with a strike. Houlihan so dangerous out of that pocket, and Cornell, what a big catch on 3rd down.
The hero of last week's game when he recovered the fumble in the end zone for the touchdown. Nice cutback by Jones, and he slides down to about the 16-yard line. And now all of a sudden, it's not so unrealistic anymore.
Well, you need to get in here. Obviously, a touchdown, I think, is what Bob Nielsen is thinking. Although if you do go with the field goal, you still give yourself a chance to win, depending on how much time is left. It's 7:30 and counting right now. Eau Claire would like to get in the next couple of plays and put the pressure on the Rowan offense.
Mark Hendricks and that Rowan defense want to keep the Blugolds out of the end zone. Houlihan cuts back down to about the 12, and it's going to be 3rd and short.
He's brought down by number 3, Damon Troy.
And again, the option shut down for Sean Houlihan. Interesting decision here because on 3rd and 1, you need to get a first down. But do you run the football? Because if you don't get the first down, you're taking more time off the clock. So you might look for something to give Houlihan some options again here on 3rd and short.
The Rowan sideline desperately trying to get a timeout called, and they get it.
And Houlihan thought he might sneak through there before they got the whistles blown, but always a gamer.
That's the second timeout called by the Profs in the second half. So they've got just one remaining while Eau Claire's got their full complement of 3 with 6:51 to go.
It's an interesting scenario for Sean Houlihan. If he can get into the end zone here, get his defense to help him out a little bit, he could set himself up for a good victory, even though he hasn't played well today. And then for Casey Keeler's club, they know this stand is it. They can keep them out here. Realistically, there is not going to be a shot for Eau Claire unless there's a turnover or a crazy play of some sort. And there's Houlihan, the ref, saying, let's calm it down. Houlihan, even though they're off day, can still smile.
He's having fun out there.
Well, and he knows as well that this is his last game. 24-year-old senior, so he brings a lot of maturity to the game for Eau Claire. And, of course, played basketball at Mankato State in Minnesota for a year and decided that he still wanted to play college football, ended up at Eau Claire, and with Bob Nielsen and the rest of history.
Big 3rd down and 1 from the 13-yard line. The Rowan fans on the near side up on their feet. They bang it inside for Jones, and it's going to be close. And we've gotten a final score from Mount Union. It's a final. Mount Union 34 and Trinity 29. So Mount Union goes back to the Stag Bowl again.
Boy, the Purple Raiders, they will be a mighty foe for either of these teams to contend with. They can put points up. They can shut you down. Got to give Trinity credit in that game. They're down 21-2 at half.
Yeah. Sounded like they really had quite a battle with Trinity today. This is a big measurement here.
There we see B.J. Jones. Thomas Howard did a nice job breaking through and just grabbing him by the ankle. And they got it.
By about 90% of the football. So first down and 10, and there's the final score. Mount Union 34-29.
So Mount Union looking for their 3rd straight Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl title now. Here's Jones. Just got enough. Just that final stretch probably got it for him. Eau Claire with all 3 timeouts. So if they get in here, they will have chances.
Osmo and Crutchley out to the far side. They've been quiet today, and on first down, it's Jones. Not much. Not anything. As Gavlik was there, John Gavlik's had a good day today. Second down.
Gavlik, Wright, that linebacking core in general has really stepped it up for Rowan in this ball game. They've been able to get penetration, force Houlihan and the running backs to do things they don't like to do. Really a fine defensive effort overall for Rowan against a high-powered Eau Claire offense.
5:55 remaining. 2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line. Flags on the play. Now let's see. Is it going to be Rowan offsides or illegal procedure on Eau Claire?
Referees conferring.
See who claps first.
And it looks like it might go
Good
again.
ball, offside, on the defense.
Wow.
Yeah, Rowan that time, a little bit anxious, trying to do what they've done so well today, is make plays in that backfield, and that time it's cost them 5 yards.
Well, Houlihan must have staggered his count. Watch, you see a bunch of players jump forward. Good job by Houlihan to pick up 5 free yards.
So 5.5 minutes remaining now for Eau Claire.
2nd and 5 from the 7. Houlihan to Jones. Jones off the right side down inside the 5. It looks like it'll be 3rd and short.
It almost appears like they are playing with the mindset that they're going to get a touchdown and 2 and hope that they have time for a field goal. With the way the clock is rolling here, might be a little bit difficult to count on any type
Gain of 3 on that play.
time to have a touchdown drive. 5 minutes left now. The interesting thing is, though, if they can get in here, we know Rowan's running game might be non-existent without Williams or Wright.
3rd and 2. Jones racing for the corner. He's not going to get there, and it's going to set up a big 4th down play. Now, do you go for it on 4th down and about a yard?
Well, I think you keep the game going as long as you can right now if you're Eau Claire. I think you kick the field goal here. You have 4:43 to go. if you don't make it, the game is over, realistically. So if you can bring Jeremy Braun in and kick the field goal, you're at least giving your defense the knowledge that they have a chance to win. And here comes Brown.
Well, Eau Claire is 0 for 2 on the day in fourth down conversion, so they will try to kick the field goal here.
And I think that's the smart move. Like I say, if you don't get in here, you really kill yourself. And Brown makes this, you're still in this ball game.
Well, he's already had one 21-yard chip shot. Looking for another one here, a crucial one. And he's got it. Well, it's a one-touchdown game. 19-12 with 4:19 remaining.
Well, they talked about incessantly last night at our NCAA meeting. Quite a bit about overtime rules, and right now Eau Claire hopes that we'll see some of those put into play, but Rowan knows they have a chance to put this game away. Their offense has not controlled the ball, but if they can come up with one drive, and I would think that if you're Rowan, you really want to go with the short passing game here. You're clearly not able to run it against this defense so far today. Bryant has played well. Trinidad, put it in their hands, put it in Ornstein's hands. He's your guy right now.
And that really was an impressive drive by Eau Claire when they knew they had to get something in that possession. And now they let the defense try to stop the Rowan offense. And as you mentioned, with Wright out, with Williams injured, maybe you try to force them to run and play some pass defense.
Well, I think it should be interesting to see what Eau Claire chooses to do defensively, because we've seen in the second half they've really been trying to come up and challenge the Rowan receivers. But in this situation, you wonder if they want to do that, because it could result in a big play. On the other hand, you could make a big play, get an interception. The Rowan defense, though, has played it hard out today, win or lose. They have really shut down this Eau Claire offense.
Yeah, when you look at some of the numbers that Eau Claire has put up, 458 yards per game on offense, and they're not even half of that today.
Number 5, Curtis Collins, and number 4, Tamon Bryant.
Special teams have been the story,
yeah,
to say the least.
That's what I was about to say, that you never know with special teams what might happen with all the strange things happening on punts today. Keep an eye on this kickoff. Collins. Flag.
And I think they're going to get a block in the back that time. It looked like number 13, Earl Wilby, may have got a block in the back. And that indeed is going to be the call. Yep.
Well, that certainly helps the blue efforts.
Well, you saw it right at the 40-yard line. It really didn't need to happen because it didn't affect the run back at all. Well, Casey Keeler.
On the return, flipping, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the infraction. First down, Rowan.
Well, they're into double digits now with penalties. They've had a bunch here in the second half. They had 5 in the first half.
Here's the return by Collins. Really almost broke this one. Got to the outside here. Made a couple of tacklers miss. Good stiff arm there.
The penalties, 1st and 10 for the Profs at their own 23.
Block in the back. A clip is going to bring them back.
4:06 remaining. Rowan with 1 timeout left, and Eau Claire with all 3. Pressure. Pass is complete to Trinidad out at the 37-yard line, and that's going to be a first down.
Well, we talked about it. That's got to be what Rowan goes to now. They have to go to the short pass and hope that Trinidad and Bryant can come up with some clutch receptions here. They've got the quarterback to move him down the field and run this clock out. Under 4 minutes to go now.
Clock running. 3:45. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. It's Laquan Majette, number 7, is the tailback, and he gets the toss on first down. And Majette around the outside, and he'll be close to another first down. I think he's got it, and he does.
Well, Eau Claire clearly playing past that time and caught with their pants down as Majette got to the outside with no problem. The only good thing that happened for Eau Claire on that play is he got out of bounds, and that stops the clock with 3:31 to go. But good blocking here by the offensive line. Cheney out there throwing a couple of blocks and bringing Majette to the outside for the first down.
Majette, a freshman, speedster from Newark, New Jersey. And now Nick Lopez in the ball game in the backfield. 3:10 and running. Lopez is hit and taken down. Jason Simic, the middle linebacker, with a stop. And now timeout called by Eau Claire. That's their first one.
Well, Eau Claire is making the decision that this has got to be the last series of downs for Rowan. 2nd and 9. You know that on one of these plays, Ornstein's got to go to Bryant. That's been his guy today. And
We have the final score in the Rowan Hunter Stewart women's basketball
the replay
game.
here
Final
is
score, Rowan 103.
they go up the middle with the fullback, Nick Lopez. A lot of freshmen out there on the field right now for Rowan.
Well, as Mickey V told us earlier, Coach Casey Keeler said this is a very young team, and we see how deep they are as we're on our third tailback of the day. There is Casey Keeler.
Well, if Casey Keeler can win this game, you know the question he's going to face all week is, can you win the big one? 3 times he's taken Rowan to the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl. 3 times they've returned a loser, so. But right now, they need to just run out this clock and get there before they can start talking about that.
2:57 remaining. Eau Claire with 2 timeouts left, so they could use a timeout here and a timeout on 3rd down if they could stop them and get the football back with no timeout. If Rowan gets another 1st down, that's just about it. Ornstein looks, throws, incomplete.
Well, Trinidad had a crack there. Hoyard was closing on him, and I think Ornstein did not want to risk an interception that time and put it only where Trinidad would be able to come up with it. And now we have an enormous 3rd down and 9.
If Eau Claire can make the stop here, they'll get the ball back with 2 timeouts left, or at least 1 timeout left, and more than 2 minutes.
An incomplete pass helps the defense more than just not getting any yards to the offense, stopping the clock, giving them another chance, save timeout.
Big play for the Eau Claire defense. Toss to Majette, and Majette goes down. Now let's see if they use the timeout here. They will. Good clock management by the Blugolds.
And guess who? Scott Eads again. Number 73 has been all over the field today for Eau Claire and read that one from the get-go. Majette, they tried to toss sweep to the other side this time. And Eads coming all the way over from his defensive end position to rip him down in the backfield, along with Jason Simic.
Each team now with 1 timeout remaining and 2 minutes, 42 seconds to go.
Well, we said it a couple of times today already. Sean Houlihan has not played a great game, but he's the type of guy that you don't want to face in this situation because he can buy time, he can get out of the pocket, he can make things happen with his feet. But first, Rowan has to get the punt off, I guess.
Houlihan just 7 of 18 for 88 yards, 1 interception, and yet they're still going to have a chance to at least tie the game or maybe win the game or at least force overtime.
I don't think either team. I think this is the type of game where the winning coach will say, boy, you know, we didn't play well. We're fortunate to win. And the losing coach will say, we had a lot of opportunities and we killed ourselves. It's been a game where neither team has really played sound football, but somebody is going to be able to come out of here with a victory anyway.
Keep in mind all the problems that Rowan has had with the center snaps today. A couple snappers injured. That one's okay. Migliore gets off a big punt. Fielded by Dunn at the 15.
And, you know, that was a case where Jason Dunn may have been wise just to run straight up the field and pick up 10 more yards for his quarterback and his offense, but tried to make another big play and taken down inside the 25. Sometimes you have to take what they give you. They were obviously in a punt protect there, and Dunn could have gotten a little more yardage. You see how open that field is, but Dunn, instead of running right up the sideline, pauses right here and tries to think about cutting it back. Well, that cost him about 10 yards.
We have a clarification. Rowan is out of timeouts. Eau Claire still has 1. Houlihan to throw it. He's got all kinds of time. Throws, and the pass is complete to Osmo at the 35-yard line.
Well, again, a nice job of the Eau Claire receivers coming back to help their quarterback, and we talked about it. That's what Sean Houlihan gives you, the ability to roll out, find a receiver, buy time.
No huddle, 1st down from the 35. Houlihan to throw it. Looks underneath, pass complete to Dunn. forward progress to about the 40.
Well done, not much to him, and he is roughed up a little bit on that play, but he is staying in there.
No huddle, under 2 minutes, 1:55. Houlihan looking, throws incomplete. Looks like he had Osmo across the middle and couldn't get it to him, and now Thomas Howard is shaken up for the Profs.
And he is back up on his feet. That time, Houlihan thought that Cornell was running an out. Turned out to be a miscommunication.
Do you see a flag on the field?
I don't see a flag, but apparently the fans are indicating that there was an infraction of some sort against Eau Claire, but
we had a signal from the official, but I don't... Oh, there it was, right by the football. Okay. You see what the call is.
Holding on the offense has been accepted. Still second down.
Well, now 3rd and 15 for Eau Claire. That is a costly penalty. You can't have any when you're trying to mount a drive like this.
Timeouts remaining right there. 1 for Eau Claire and none for Rowan. Back to throw is Houlihan. The pass is incomplete.
Going for Nate Thorson that time, and not really any chance. Great coverage by Ron Gibson. He's played a fine game today, and this is the ball game for Eau Claire.
Well, the scoreboard said it was 3rd down. The marker on the sideline said it was 2nd, so
it will be 3rd now.
It is 3rd, okay. 3rd and 19.
Minute 45. Eau Claire's got to make some plays up the field here. They can't just keep nickel and diming.
Houlihan's in trouble. Gets away. Throws, and it's complete and out of bounds. How did he get out of that one?
That's Houdini Houlihan. I don't know how he got out of that one because he was dead to rights and somehow managed to find a way to get out and find Darren Cornell for a big completion, at least giving them hope here, because 4th and 9 looks a lot better than 4th and 19. Make it 4th and 8. And the Rowan crowd up on their feet now. They can sense it. The stop here and the game is over.
That's right. Here we go. It's 4th down and 8. They need to get to the 45-yard line for a 1st down. Complete 1st down.
Oh, boy. I tell you what, Sean Houlihan looks so cool back there, having Cornell on that route across the middle, laid it out there perfect. For a guy who has thrown a lot of passes that should have been complete and weren't today, Houlihan throwing a perfect pass when he needed to. Look at the way he just feathers this one out to Cornell, hits him on the dead run, and it's tough to cover that route. And when you throw it like that, it's impossible.
The ball resting on the 50-yard line. 1:28 remaining. 1st down and 10. 1 timeout left for the Blugolds. Houlihan keeps it, runs. He's inside the 35. He's down to the 30. And he goes down there, a 20-yard pickup. Well, you weren't kidding about this guy being Houdini.
Well, it's getting to be that point of the game where the defense is very tired, and Sean Houlihan is very tired as well, but as quick as he is, he can make a lot of plays, and you see the defense just getting set now.
Houlihan to throw again. Pump fake. Looking over the middle, wide open. Complete inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line is Nate Thorson. And they still have a timeout left.
And 1 minute to go. Now you almost say don't score too quick. 1 minute left, and they're on the 6. But let's remember, they have had major problems in the red zone today. They have not looked good inside the 10, with the exception being that one touchdown with B.J. Jones after the block punt. Besides that, not much doing.
1st and goal from the 5. Corner of the end zone. It's back there.
Touchdown. Touchdown, Steve Crutchley. That is his go-to guy. He's been quiet all day, and somehow Crutchley, on his tippy toes, I think, Greg, able to pull that one down, and this was an unbelievable drive by Sean Houlihan. Unbelievable.
3rd down and 15, and they picked up the 1st down. And now the all-important extra point. Take a look at this touchdown. from Houlihan to Crutchley.
Well, they like to run this play. Houlihan with the sprint out to his left, just as he's getting hit, lets it go, but Crutchley was wide open in the back of the end zone for a while. You can't see it, but some good footwork on that play. But you're right, this is a huge extra point, and Jeremy Brown this year has missed 10 extra points. So nothing is for sure in this game. He is 34 of 44 on the year for point afters. And we'll see right now what Jeremy Brown comes up with. But I'll tell you what, either way, make it or miss it, Sean Houlihan, what can you say about him on that drive?
That was amazing. That was the kind of drive that you see from Jake Plummer with Arizona State.
Yeah. And in this gold uniform, he almost brings to mind Joe Montana, the way he drove them down. And you see in players sometimes, and they're going for 2 points here, unless Houlihan will hold it for Jeremy Brown. Didn't mean to get anybody too excited, because there is Jeremy, but as you see, 10-point afters missed this year by Jeremy Brown.
Well, it's 19-18.
And they're holding a collective breath on that Eau Claire sideline to see this one split the uprights, because with 40 seconds to go, you have to like your chances to get into overtime at least.
Both teams are out of timeouts. Well, this is for the tie. It's good. Well, with 40 seconds remaining, we are tied at 19.
Well, for a game that, quite frankly, was not very well played for a while, we have got a Donnybrook on our hands now. Sean Houlihan leading Eau Claire to an amazing drive. And really, a drive where we saw a lot of plays that we hadn't seen from them all day. Houlihan with a 20-yard run, a big pass completion for 25 yards to Nate Thornton, who was wide open on that play. And then the touchdown pass to Crutchley.
Well, I'm glad I paid attention to the overtime portion of the meeting last night.
We're going to see an exercise, perhaps. Still 40 seconds left, and Gus Ornstein can get this ball down the field in a hurry. So Eau Claire not out of the woods yet, by any means.
Profs out of timeout. What a great comeback by this Wisconsin Eau Claire team, the Road Warriors, trailing 14-3 at halftime. And it has been 16-5 here in the second half. We are deadlocked at 19.
Well, I'll tell you, if there's one thing that Bob Nielsen instilled, the biggest thing he instilled in this program, not recruiting, not play calling, but will to win, belief you can win. And I think that was something that was lacking with this program throughout its history until he took over 3 years ago, and obviously it's showing through today.
Jeff Love at the 8-yard line. We'll get out as far as the 27. There are 32 seconds left.
So let's see. Ornstein has hit a couple of plays over the middle to Bryant and Trinidad today. But they're going to need at least, on their own 28-yard line, a good 20 yards, make that 40 yards to get in field goal range, and no timeouts to do it with.
That's right. Keep in mind, Mark Migliori hit a 47-yarder. So you need 42 yards from right here to get a field goal. No timeouts left, but this is an explosive offense. Ornstein down the middle of the field. Bryant at the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10 down the 9-yard line.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, you know, you hear a lot of talk that the prevent defense doesn't work, but sometimes you have to keep people in front of you, and that time Bryant got wide open in the middle of the field, and this one has been a crazy one. That was the craziest play of all. How Bryant got that open in the middle of the field has got to be driving defensive coordinator John Stager crazy right now.
There's 20 seconds left as the Profs come up to the line of scrimmage. Keep in mind, there are no timeouts. Ornstein corner of the end zone, incomplete.
Well, at this point, I'm not, and Ornstein's down again. I think you run the football and try to get out of here with a 22-19 victory if you're rolling. Ornstein hobbling off. Take a look at this replay again. Right down the middle of the field, Tamon Bryant really uncovered. It looked like Dan Henkin tried to make a tackle, couldn't do it. And lucky he didn't score on this play. And look at Ornstein hobbling up to the line of scrimmage now for Rowan.
16 seconds remaining. Ornstein to throw. Throws behind Bryant, incomplete. 13 seconds remaining.
And what do you do now if you're Casey Keeler? Do you kick it with on third down? And indeed they are.
In case there's a bad snap, you can fall on it and try to get another shot, but without a timeout, they might not be able to do 2 shots at it. So 13 seconds remaining.
Well, I wondered if they might throw Durandal Shepard in there to try and run him off the corner, but he's on the sideline right now. They're just going to hope and pray that Mark Migliore somehow misses what should be a pretty routine 25-yard field goal.
7 for 11 on the season. His long was today. This is for the win.
Well, this game is at everything, and that is an unbelievable end, if indeed it is the end. 7 seconds to go right now. Barely enough time for a kickoff if you're Eau Claire. 33-second drive only right there. Well, it's been a really amazing season for Eau Claire, and it looked like it might continue after that stride that they put together to get a touchdown. But boy, how quickly fortunes can turn. Migliore, perfect snap, perfect hold, and right down the middle. No doubt about that one.
7 seconds remaining. What a wild finish. 22-19.
Well, normally you would not kick away in this situation, but I would not be surprised to see Rowan do that, and only because I don't think you want to give Sean Houlihan a shot at the end zone. Any kind of long throw, any kind of bomb. We'll see what Rowan's strategy is here, but if you kick it on the ground, time will likely run out. If you kick it in the air, you are giving Eau Claire a chance to at least run it back.
We might see some kind of a rugby scrum kind of a situation here where Eau Claire will try to lateral the ball around.
Well, what did we say? Come on now, boys! The only concern Eau Claire might have was scoring too quickly, and that's exactly what happened.
With 40 seconds left and no timeouts, the Profs get a big completion from Ornstein to Bryant, and that's been the big hookup all day today. 10 receptions for Tamon Bryant. There's the situation.
As we mentioned, expect a squib here. Claire will hope to get one snap off before this game ends, but we'll see.
The clock won't start until the ball is touched. Well, this will be it. Jason Dunn. That's it.
Well, what can you say? An unbelievable finish to what was a somewhat sloppy game and a great win for Rowan, but an Eau Claire team that fought so hard to get back into this game managed to tie it with 40 seconds left. Not enough, though. Dejection on that Eau Claire sideline, and Rowan going back to the Stag Bowl again.
For the 4th time in 6 years, the Rowan Profs get the victory, and they advance to the Stag Bowl next Saturday at 2 o'clock in Salem, Virginia. Tough loss for that man, Bob Nielsen. Well, let's step aside for a break. We'll come back. We will have a post-game interview and some highlights for you. The Rowan Profs going back to the Stag Bowl with a 22-19 victory over Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
When you have a construction project that calls for professional quality craftsmanship, you need Royal Construction in Eau Claire. They've built their reputation on superb customer service in residential homes.
Their commitment, the commitment that they make to the customer is second to none.
And in commercial construction.
I think the personal touch given by Royal Construction is maybe what sets them apart.
Call Royal Construction of Eau Claire, your residential and commercial construction specialist.
Quick grip clamps from Menards make any project go easier. They go on with just one hand and grip tight. Get several for woodworking or repairs. This 6-inch clamp is just $8.95. Solder or saw pipes with the Burns-O-Matic torch. This utility torch kit is just $8.77. This self-igniting torch kit starts with just a squeeze of the trigger. $12.98 after rebate. Warm up to big savings at Menards. Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Well, a bizarre finish, 22-19. Rowan defeats Wisconsin-Eau Claire. The Blugolds came back. They trailed at 19-9 in the fourth quarter. They got the tying touchdown with less than a minute to go. And then they give up a big pass to Tamon Bryant. Sets up the game-winning field goal by Mark Migliore, who had 2 field goals on the day, a season-long 47-yarder, and then a 25-yarder, which essentially won the game with 7 seconds left. And that's got to be a heartbreaking end to the best season in Wisconsin-Eau Claire history.
Well, they showed a lot of character, obviously, coming back. When they were down 19-9, it looked very dark. Managed to tie it, but too little, too late. And really, the difference in this ball game was Tamon Bryant. I mean, when you boil it down to all the penalties and all the injuries and everything that happened, when it counted, he made the big plays for Rowan today, and he was the difference in this football game.
Well, let's pick up some comments from Casey Keeler in the huddle.
Let's watch them. We're going bowling. Hey, now listen, I'll talk to you for a second about this. And when we're all done, we grab them, they did a great job. Hey, that was a ball game, baby. Listen to me. I've been there 3 times before, okay? And we've been in the lead all 3 times. This is a long process. It's a drive down. There's a lot of activities down there. Hey, have a soda pop tonight and get off your feet because it's going to be a long week. So don't be celebrating. You win anything yet? No. You want to win something? Yeah. Something? Yeah. What I'm talking about, we're going to win something. All right, so just relax tonight. Get off your feet. It's a long process. Get a chance to play. Who's playing? You. I'll play them. I'm going to give myself about half an hour to have some dinner, and I'm going to start working. Yeah. Let's play it up.
Well, you can hear that Coach Casey Keeler and his Rowan Profs are not satisfied with getting back to the Stag Bowl this year. They want to get the victory. This will be their 4th trip in 6 years, and as you mentioned before, Greg, they have gone winless in their first 3 attempts. And boy, you see the look of dejection on the face of the Wisconsin-Eau Claire players, but what a great effort to come back on the road to defeat 2 unbeaten teams in the last 2 weeks and then to nearly have the dramatic comeback here. It's got to be tremendously disappointing, but they can hold their heads up. I believe we're going to try to get Mickey V with head coach Casey Keeler and Gus Ornstein, Rowan's quarterback. Of course, down in that mass of humanity, there's no way to tell. Let's see what we have. Let's go down to Mickey V. Mickey?
Thanks, Greg and Coach. What a finish, really. We couldn't ask for.
Back here at Rowan, let's go down to the sideline. Mickey V's got Gus Ornstein.
Thanks, Greg. I'm also with Taman Bryant. Taman, real quick, talk about that catch. I mean, a lot of us on the sideline saw. We were thinking overtime. What did you see in that secondary?
The coaches made a great call. The secondary lined up, and it looked like I covered 2 deep, and it was just a great call. It was just one of the calls where Coach Tuck just used his brain and came out with a great play, and Ornstein stuck in there. The line had good protection, delivered a great ball, and it was just open field. Open field.
And with that, Gus, with your 2 running backs go down, really the pressure was on your shoulders. Now, what were you thinking out there? You got a little banged up yourself.
Yeah, I got a little banged up, but I don't really feel anything right now. I mean, I just tried to get the job done in the second half. I mean, you got guys like Tamon and Dave, making plays on the outside. It makes my job a lot easier. And the O-line did a great job. A couple guys got hurt, and they were bringing it pretty much. And, they gave me enough time to get it to them.
Now you're off the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl. You were at Notre Dame, Michigan State. What a great choice to come here. I know you want to play some baseball, but you're playing some great football here at Rome.
It is why I came here. It's been great. So hopefully we'll go down there and get a win.
All right, great win. Thank you guys up in the booth.
Thank you, Mickey, and thank you, gentlemen, and best of luck next week to the Rowan Profs as they will be in the Stag Bowl against Mount Union. Well, let's take a look at the second half highlights. What a wild finish it was this afternoon here in Glassboro, New Jersey. Cheerleaders were ready, the fans were ready, and the second half got underway. The first possession of the second half, this long pass to Eric Osmo was incomplete, but it got the pass interference call. And Eau Claire tried the long pass once again, but this time it was a little too far and intercepted by Rowan's Damon Troy. But all day long, special teams were a problem. Look at the second punt block of the day. And once again, Wisconsin-Eau Claire had great field position. 2 plays later, B.J. Jones for the Blugolds goes into the end zone on the short touchdown run off the right side, and that made the score 14-9. Eau Claire went for 2, and the pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage, batted down right there, so it was no good. It stayed 14-9. Rowan, with all the injuries to the running backs, went to the passing game again. Watch the great catch by David Trinidad with the defender clamped all over him over the top. Rowan got themselves in trouble with some penalty yardage, but they picked up enough on third down to get the 47-yard field goal, the season long for Mark Migliore, and that turned out to be a big field goal. It was 17-9. Then the snap over the head of Wolin, the punter for Eau Claire. Good heads up here by Eau Claire to pick it up and run it into the end zone for the safety. It could have been a disastrous touchdown. Instead, it was 19-9. Jared Wolin with some good heads up there. They had to settle for the field goal, and that made the score 19-12. Another chip shot field goal. 4th down and 8. This is the last drive of the game for Eau Claire. They pick up the first down on 4th and 8 to midfield. Sean Houlihan here from the 50-yard line, scrambling, in trouble. Takes it all the way down to the 30-yard line, and it looks like Wisconsin-Eau Claire is on the comeback. They pick up another great pass. They move it down inside the 5-yard line, and then the touchdown pass to Crutchley in the back corner of the end zone, all the way back. Bayman Wright pops him out of bounds, but the touchdown counts, 19-18. The extra point is good. We're tied, 40 seconds left. Overtime, right? Wrong. Taman Bryant catches the pass at the 44-yard line. Down the near sideline, and he is taken down inside the 10. And that sets up the game-winning field goal with 7 seconds left. Mark Migliore from 25 yards away, and the Profs are headed back to the Stag Bowl. Greg Newman, a disappointing end for Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
Absolutely no doubt about it. They fought hard today. They are the Road Warriors, as their fans have brought the sign to say, but came up a little bit short on the road today. Great effort by both teams. I'm sure neither played exactly the way they wanted to today, but in the end, both teams were able to make plays, make it an exciting game, and of course, Rowan comes out on top today. Tough way for Eau Claire to lose, but Rowan off to the Stag Bowl again.
They will play Mount Union next week. For Mickey V and Greg Newman, this is Greg Milligan from Rowan College in Glassboro, New Jersey. Again, the final 22-19. The Profs are back in the Stag Bowl. So long, everybody.